second half action. And now we'll take a look at the first half highlights from this India versus UAE encounter. Just one time. First half, India's 26-26, calm and composed nature, and some fun quality passing paid off for them to just a quick try. So 5 hours from Malaysia, 7 more minutes left coming away in game number 1. Next, we have taken on Indonesia, the champions of Leg 1. On the last team of Leg 1. With the first kick of the second one. Now, UAE also been showcasing that physicality aspect there. It's always going to be a challenge cutting up with teams of UAE. Now, India is continuing to show start the second half, the number 5. Coming now from the right corner. UAE starting off very strong here. The pace of UAE in showcase very early in the second half. 5 points on the board for UAE. And just like that, the can't even turn with a straightforward conversion coming in. Manson Millie scoring that try for UAE. That's exactly what UAE needed. To get this conversion through, they'll be 2 points in. The conversion from Cook. So takes it back to 7 points to 5 there. UAE took the ball from the kick-out. Most many cases that they're bowling but were able to teach it to the defense and then create the opportunity work for Malaysia to run. And the case something that US is also very challenging. Now, where the US is not to do because they have to make a lot of pressure. And this is not going to be too easy. All of a sudden, it's UAE. It's calling the shots here. 2-point advantage, 2-point buffer for them. Big loose there, but luckily off the boot. So with position now, UAE. Now, another thing, the left corner of the field, the number 8 for UAE. 22-9, but unfortunately holding on. India doing really well. Now India, there's a lot of passing in this game, but most of those occasions they are not being able to gain inroads, they are not being able to gain yardage. But this time, the number 5 for India finds the space and looks like she does have the space as well to go all the way. Second try for Bhumika Shukla. She will touch down right underneath the post to give the lead back to India. No penalty is coming from UAE in defense and trap. First off, they were guilty of not playing over quickly enough from the couple of attackers. Now, India has to slow back into this game. Important conversion. Some of the fixing is successful. So 12 points to 7. India goes back to the don't give you a lead to hold a lead for too long. Because they will have to drop that fast. After giving this penalty, it sounds like if you don't drop that down, so they can help our students to take the press on the last defender and break under the sticks. Get the other game back up on 8-point lead. And they need to close the game out of the position to bring it up to us. And Shukla, something up after scoring 2 tries. Her part is done in this encounter now. But with 4 minutes to go, anything can happen in Sri Lanka rugby. It's a 5-point game. And I feel that if they can get that next step right, and the game in their control. So far so good. A brilliant start to game number 1. Some good rugby action from these two sides. Towards the 2 defenders of India. Now UAE trying to work and find the short side. Persisting with that plan. Gives the offload out. Now UAE spots and almost fumbled it, but he managed to recover. India, very good in their defensive work so far. Not giving UAE any room to beat at the moment. As we get for UAE. So far the passing game has been top notch from both the sides. And now India, a penalty for holding on, and he unfortunately makes the fumble out of it, loses the ball forward. It's going to be a storm in favor of UAE, an opportunity for them once again with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go on the clock.
Holding on penalty game. It was not forced by India, but that lockdown was forced. This is the most important couple of moments in this game. So anybody's game is still up in the air. India can take it, UAE can take it. Because no one should know. We need to set this right camera. UAE let's expect them to use the pace that they have outlined. I don't want the ball so much. But when they have had the ball, they have try when they have been able to use the weight of the field. If they can use the weight of the field, they'll be able to stretch the Indian defense and maybe try and get another score. Here's India coming in on the defense, but wraparound pass. Here's UAE with space on the out.
UAE from the right corner, trying to find room. They shift their directions again from right to left. They go. Almost finds the gap. This time a bit wavered and she loses the ball forward. Is it? No, actually she hasn't. Oh, she has lost the ball forward. It's going to be a storm again for India. UAE probably that last chance for them in this encounter, but still around 1.5 minutes to go. Slightly wavered, but still had enough time to recover that. Unfortunately couldn't do it. But India, the chance again.
And India is creeping into this game. Fatigue also creeping into this game. But I really love how the support lines have worked from both these teams. They've always been looking for those loops, looking for work to do. They haven't been able to close it out so far, and that's been why the tries have been dried up. Ball somehow comes the way of India. I'm not sure if it came the correct way, but here we go. India with ball in hand. With a little bit of pace here. Now UAE need to dig deep and try and get their defense sorted. If India score a try here, that could be curtains in this game. India for the line and for the victory in this first game. That's going to be the try that will seal the deal for them. India have been the better team in this game so far with ball in hand. Defense, maybe not so much, but India have had another score and a score that could get them the first win of this game.
So what a start for India. They have been absolutely phenomenal. They have been consistent, as I mentioned, throughout this encounter. Yes, there were some mistakes here and there, but overall, what a game from India.
5 seconds to kick.
17 points to 7, and that's it. India, they win the first game of Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025 Leg 2 here in Sri Lanka. What a start, what a result for India.
Well, really heartening to see, isn't it? From absolutely nothing a couple of years back, India have really improved their rugby from bottom up. And to get a win against a team that has been playing rugby for quite a number of years, the UAE, India win this one 17 points to 7. And a victory that will really keep their women's team in really good stead. Here's the try that came from UAE, where we thought they maybe would make a comeback, and they took the lead momentarily through a score coming in from Madison Mellish. But then India were able to hit back and hit back fast. UAE were guilty of giving away a string of penalties. But then the pace from Shukla, two tries from her in this game, getting her and her team the victory. But then this try that sealed the deal. Once again, if you just have a look at replay of that try, you'll know that it was the handling from India that really took this game away from the UAE. And when it really did matter, India rose to the occasion. The key stats of that game, 17 points to 7. 3 tries from India, 2 from Shukla, 1 conversion. The United Arab Emirates, just the 1 try and the conversion at the start of the second half.
Now, during the series this year, Abid, this is actually the second win for India against United Arab Emirates. In China, they managed to win the encounter 19 points to 12 in that 5th place semi-final. So a brilliant result, as you mentioned as well, for India. Shows how much they have improved in the sevens game, especially in the last few years. It's really great to see India coming up the ranks in sevens rugby. So right now we will head to a commercial break once again, and on the other side we will be back with the action where the champions from leg 1, Japan, will take on Indonesia. Stay tuned.
Second game coming your way, Japan taking on Indonesia. This is the women's segment. Just concluded the first game where India beat the United Arab Emirates 17 points to 7. Japan, the defending champions of the first leg, looks on set to try and win this second leg as well. Here's the Japanese team, the victorious Japanese team a couple of weeks back in China. Match official for you, Sunny Lee Chui. Someone that the Sri Lankan rugby community does know was here for a couple of games. Here's Japan to start off their campaign in the second leg.
Now the champions are coming into leg 2 from leg 1. They want to make a statement straight away, but Indonesia, what a great result it's going to be for them if they can do something special here to start day 1. A bit sloppy there. They do manage to cover the ball, but Japan just too organized at the moment in their defense, just pushing Indonesia back and pushing them back big time. They're almost at their own try line here.
Japanese defense really has come to the party so far in the early stages. Thailand looking to go with their bigger players, maybe try and get the physicality into the game, into these early stages, but that's going to be a penalty. Holding on, and here's going to be the first try coming in for Japan. Easy does it for them. 1 minute of defense and 1 second of ball in hand, and they have a try. First try for the Japanese, and the Japanese faithful are well and truly happy with that one.
Japan, they managed to put a lot of pressure on Indonesia from the word go, and it has paid off with a try very early in this game. 5 points to 0.
Here's a replay of that try there. Unforced error from Indonesia. Generally holding on penalties are forced, but that was unforced. Good restart from Japan as well. Very contestable, but the ball trickles out into touch. First set piece of the game here for Indonesia. They'll have the throw into the line out. First look of what these teams are going to be like in this second leg. Of course, the victorious Japanese team won the first leg in China, but have a look at that line speed from them. Really coming up on those Indonesian players. Here are the Japanese in defense, and what about that for a counter-attack penalty coming the way of Japan. If they are to play the ball, here are the Japanese. Handling errors creeping in, but the ball has been knocked back. Japanese first time with open play, and that's going to be the try coming for Chiaki. A try that was well orchestrated. First in defense, breaking that ruck. But before that, the line speed from the Japanese, the Indonesians really haven't been able to contain that. Second try for the Japanese.
Japan, the quality of Japan at the moment proving to be a bit too much for Indonesia to handle. Just too quick and too organized at the moment. And the conversion doesn't go over, so it will stay 12 points to nil. Now Indonesia did have a little moment where they tried to work their line, but once again, as Abid mentioned, the speed of the line of Japan just a bit too much to handle, a bit too hot to handle for Indonesia. Here's the restart.
No one put their name on it there from Indonesia, but after the bounce, they've got a player to the ball. Here's Putri with ball in hand, looks to get the offload in, but that was a pass that went forward from the hand. Forward pass, scrum, feed in for Japan.
Indonesia just unable to keep the ball with them for an extended period of time, unfortunately. There's some supporters in for Japan as well. Earlier we also saw some supporters for UAE, so as I mentioned. It's really great to see supporters from all around the region coming in to support their teams.
An island that is known for tourism, and an island that is known for rugby, but right now the Japanese are reigning supreme in that division. Another try, and have a look at the Japanese faithful. Our cameraman will have a lot of work to do with the way the game is going so far. Have to get a lot of shots of the happy Japanese crowd, but they've got the third try. 17 points to nil already. Well, nothing much from Japan, isn't it, Laxis? It's just been clinical stuff. Conversion successful, 19 points to nil. They haven't had the ball in hand for too long, but when they have had the ball in hand, they've known when to inject the pace. And missing one-on-one tackles is not going to help the cause of the Indonesians. 3 tries already for the Japanese.
You brought up an interesting point there, Abid, how they pace their game, Japan, how they use their pace when defending and when attacking as well. And brilliant again from the restart straight away. They get the ball, Japan, looking for a 4th try in this first half.
Ball goes down the line here. There's a try scorer who gives it out to the other try scorer. Stretching the Indonesian defense. Indonesia now need to dig deep. Good line speed coming in there, but Japan are privy to that. Good defense from Indonesia. Ball a bit loose there and play on, says referee Sunny Lee. Here's where Indonesia need to be careful and need to be clinical with ball in hand. Runs down the short side and opens the opportunity for the Japanese to clear that ruck. Now from their own line, danger here if the line does come up from the Japanese, but releases and goes once again. You're allowed to do that. Indonesia under a lot of pressure from the Japanese. Looks to put a kick in. Doesn't connect. This time it connects. No sweeper back for Japan, but the kick doesn't go too far, so the players can get back in time. Now here's counter-attack coming in from Japan. Easy does it for the Japanese women's sevens rugby team. 4th try. A nothing kick there from Indonesia, but you really can't fault her. She had nothing else that she could do there. The pressure was right up there. And another try, this time a try that comes through counter-attack.
3 seconds to the game.
Indonesia is unfortunately unable to gain any advantage whatsoever whenever they had the ball. With Japan in their defensive efforts have been very, very clinical. Have not given away any room whatsoever to Indonesia, and as a result, Japan with another easy try. Had to do a lot of hard work to create that try, but Japan, so far so good for them. 26 points on the board in the first half already.
Well, midday in Tokyo right now, but if they are watching the pictures from the Papare, the official broadcast partner of this tournament, they'll be absolutely happy with that one as well. Another try coming in for the Japanese, 26 points, and add another 5 to that, 31 points to nil. They're really running away with this one. The Japanese, 31 points in 7 minutes is no joke. With the conversion, which is successful, 32 points to nil, and it will be lemons here in the second game of the Asia Rugby Emirates 7's second leg women's fixture coming your way. Half-time confirmation, 33 points to nil. The Japanese running away with this one. If you thought that was a full-time confirmation, well, you've got 7 minutes of rugby action coming your way. We'll head in for a quick commercial break, and we'll see you on the other side with second half action.
Welcome back, everyone. The Racecourse Grounds, game number 2, second half coming up. But before that, let's have a look at the first half highlights. The first half is all about Japan going over the line. Indonesia, unfortunately, just couldn't do anything special. Japan, they're just showing why they walked away with the title in that first leg. Very, very clinical. They have realized what job at hand is throughout this encounter. So there's a try right at the end of the first half as well. So can Indonesia make some sort of a comeback in the second half? And coming up next, game number 3, Kazakhstan taking on Malaysia, the number 5 and the number 8 from leg number 1, a Pool E fixture.
How will the Japanese start the second half off? If you watch the first half, you know exactly how they're going to start it off, and this is exactly how they're going to start it off. Offloads coming in, and that's going to be another try, but a race to the line before that. But the race is going to be won by the Japanese number 6. Once again, the Japanese start running riot here in the second half. First try in the second half. Now they'll need to get their bench and their finishers in to try and divide the minutes between the players, because they're absolutely running riot here. Here's a chance to make it 40 points to nil. It'll be 40 points to nil. The Japanese have really been able to exploit the gaps in this Indonesian defense. Just have a look at that once again. Playing what's in front of you is what the Japanese have done well. There is space out wide, and she also had a player out wide, but have a look at the support lines. There were players running on the right shoulder and the left shoulder of that player, and took the right option and just went under the sticks to score a very, very easy try for the Japanese.
And almost another break, but unfortunately losing the ball forward. That instance, Japan 40 points to nil. Now Japan in that first leg as well, they did meet Indonesia, and in that game they hammered 57 points against Indonesia. So looks like we're about to see another very similar result. Now Japan, they have been very convincing. They scored 64 points against Singapore as well. Meanwhile, Japan, just as we were talking about their domination, they go over the line for another try, second try of the second half. And in that third game of the first leg, they scored 31 points. So in that first round, none of the teams were able to get at least a single try against Japan. That has been the level of domination they have shown.
Well, yes, you need attacks to score the tries, but I really think that defense is what wins you matches. And in the first half, if you really look back, have a look at that once again. The defense from the Japanese has been top-notch, beautiful to watch. Sevens rugby is, in my opinion, more about defense than attack. Attack comes down to more individual capabilities, but defense is where all 7 players need to work as a cohesive unit and drift when necessary, shoot up when necessary, and the Japanese have done that to perfection. Here's the defense coming in once again from the Japanese. Indonesia now looking to spread it out, but once again Japan come up through Hirano. Indonesia. Penalty coming the way of the Japanese, holding on once again, forcing a penalty. They take it quickly. Now need to play what's in front of them, and plays exactly what's in front of them. Exploits the gap. Another try coming the way of the Japanese.
50 up for Japan, Abid, the first half century of the tournament. Just in the second game, in leg 2. Now things have been a bit too easy for Japan here. They have not been tested at all. Should be an easy conversion. 2 easy points coming their way. 54 points.
Well, as a nation that loves their cricket, looks a bit of a cricket score here. 54 points to nil. Half century up for the Japanese, and they really do deserve that for the performance that they put in this first game. Restart from Japan, and restarts also are very important. Hasn't been that important so far in this game, because the Japanese have been able to cough back possession their way. Well, here's counter-attack from them, and counter-attack once again from the Japanese women. Another try, and this is just getting all too easy for Japan. They're running away with this one. Running away is an understatement. They're sprinting away with this one.
59 points to nil. Goes through, and that makes it 61 points to nil. Still some time remaining in this game for Japan to get some more points. One-way traffic here at Racecourse Stadium in the game number 2 of Asia Rugby Emirates Women's 7 Series 2025.
And they don't look one bit gassed out after this 61-point performance. Here's a restart once again. Tapped back well by Japan. Once again, the Indonesian defense being put to the test here. Pass doesn't stick, but that wouldn't matter because Japan will look to run around, draw and pass. Draw and pass number 2, and that's try number 3 for that young lady for Japan. Scores another try, 66 points now. It's been just simple rugby, isn't it? Beautiful to watch. The number 5 has been on fire in the second half for Japan. That's Mayu Yoshino on your screen there. Make that 68. With a little under a minute to go on our clock. Comprehensive victory from the first leg winners, Japan.
That's just too easy. Too easy at the moment. A hat-trick of tries for her as well. Some more points as well with the conversions. Well collected from the restart. Searching for another try. Trying to get the number towards that 70s territory. And they will go once again, Japan, probably for the last time in this game, 73 points to nil. They have absolutely demolished Indonesia to begin day one of leg number 2.
15. It's time.
The conversion doesn't go over. So, I believe that's it. Yes, it is. 73 points to nil. Statement made straight away by the defending champions coming into this leg 2. 73 points to nil in favor of Japan. Indonesia has not been able to cope up with the class of Japan in this encounter, unfortunately.
Here's the highlights of the second half for you, and that's a highlights reel that the Japanese rugby team will watch on repeat. Especially Mayu Yoshino scoring that many tries for her team and for her country. Simple rugby, show and go, draw and pass. It had absolutely everything, but I thought the restarts from Japan were pinpoint accurate as well. Very contestable kicks. The tap back was brilliant. Always they had someone to collect the ball after the tap back. This I thought was a very good team try. Even though the pass was a bit wayward, they kept their composure, played what was in front, ran right up to the defense and got the offloads in. 73 points is no joke. That's 10 points a minute in one half, 5 points a minute in both halves. Key stats of that game. Indonesian fans will not want to look at that right hand side column, but the Japanese fans, 73 points, 11 tries, 9 conversions. That's a huge victory for Japan. The top seed team from the first leg taking on the bottom seed team in the second leg. We'll go in for a quick commercial break and we'll see you on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the live action here from the Resco Stadium here in Colombo. Yet another match coming up. It's Kazakhstan taking on Malaysia here at the Asia Rugby Emirates 7th Series out here in Colombo. And joining me in the combox for the next couple of games is Khadija. A very good morning to you, Khadija.
Very good morning, Rashman. So,
Indeed. Kazakhstan outfit just breaking out from their huddle for one final time as they take on Malaysia. And the referee for the game will be referee Shankar Bekun from Sri Lanka. Will oversee things in this third game out here in Colombo.
Get behind.
It will be Kazakhstan with the kickoff.
and we are off. So 7 minutes of pure pace and power. Let's see. And that's Malaysia with ball in hand. Great cutout pass. Now it's a run through the sidelines. Let's see if we make it. Oh, no, that's a throw out of the line out.
Did a good tackle to just bundle her into touch. Kazakhstan doing the right thing, and they will have a throw in favor of them. Line out to just in front of us as Kazakhstan meets the high jumper from that line out. There's a ball being spread out wide. Loose ball, but nevertheless still position with Kazakhstan. And that will be quite tough to catch her, but Kazakhstan has just fumbled that ball. And that will be a scrum in favor of Malaysia. As you see the dugout eagerly watching on. Malaysia with an important feed in. Possibly try to get out of jail.
Bind. Sit. Steady. Okay.
Have to take it from the spot now, Malaysia.
And that's brilliant.
Tackle roll away.
Let's see how Malaysia plays this out. Oh, loses the ball forward. That's very unfortunate.
Indeed, not what Malaysia would have wanted. They needed to get out of jail. But they have done themselves a big problem now with Kazakhstan. In favor of this feed-in. We'll try and look to get through this defense of Malaysia. They managed to stay put in this opening 2.5 minutes. Kazakhstan with the feed-in.
9.
The halfback opting to go on her own. Here goes Kazakhstan now. Loose ball once again.
Play on. Roll away.
Both teams have found themselves guilty in dropping that ball forward. But now this time around Malaysia. But referee Ishanka Bekon will go into that initial infringement. Yet another fumble. So it will be
9.
Kazakhstan feed-in once again.
9. You can't come.
It's been a stop-start affair in this third encounter between Kazakhstan and
Count.
Malaysia.
Bind. Sit. Steady.
It's all end-to-end action, Rashwan. So if you blink and you'll miss it. And that's a brilliant run.
Once again, cardinal error from Kazakhstan gives Malaysia an opportunity to just get out of jail, but they might do much better, but just couldn't meet
Tackle release.
meet ends. As now Kazakhstan once again with the ball. Spreading that ball out wide, but good up defense coming in from Malaysia. Just pushing back Kazakhstan in their own half now. Good hands coming in from Kazakhstan.
Yes, Rashwan, I would say that's some brilliant defense action from Malaysia.
Play on.
Indeed, they have really defended well. They have defended the majority of this first half. And this time around, once again, fumble from Kazakhstan. Advantage being played for Malaysia.
Advantage over.
Advantage over, says referee Shankar Bekun.
Tackle release.
Malaysia with possession. They look to spread this ball out wide, but not the best of passes, but still recovers well. Malaysia puts that ball into space, but will eventually bundle into touch.
I I would say that's a great territory marking from Malaysia from the way they started, Rishwan.
Indeed, they're just entering the opposition half for the first time in this game with possession.
With just 2 minutes passing, let's see how this game would turn out to be. With Kazakhstan having their first line, I mean not the first, but with the line out in their favor. And there goes.
Spreading that ball out wide well is Kazakhstan. Some good hands, but not the best of decision making from Malaysia. And surely referee Shankar Bekon will go into his pockets and hand Malaysia a yellow card when things were going on well for them. This will be a major setback as we enter the final minute of this first half. Kazakhstan playing with a player more will look to try and go over the whitewash. A cardinal mistake from Malaysia. Number 10 just put her hand out, tried to go for that interception, but just couldn't complete it. Malaysia will play with just the 6 players on the park for the next couple of minutes. That will be the remainder of this first half and probably the opening minute of that second half as well. So very important passage of play for both teams. And Malaysia have done well from that scrum to try and change their fortunes. Spreading that ball out wide now.
Back.
Big thumping tackle. But now once again the number 6.
Opting to go on the short side.
Clear release.
Let's see how this turns out.
Mark here. Back, get back on the line. Backwards.
So many loose balls this match, Rishwan.
Release.
Indeed, both teams just settling into conditions here. And against the run of play possibly, with just the 6 players on the field, it's Malaysia who go over for the first time in the game. It's at the brink of half time as well. And Malaysia with an important score, playing with less player on the field as well. 5 points to nil with the conversion to follow. And that will be half time here at Colombo. Hot and humid conditions. The players will take a breather as we see the score confirmation, the halftime score confirmation. Malaysia just at the death at that halftime. They went over and giving them the lead of 5 points to nil. Welcome back to the pictures, Resco Stadium out here in Colombo. It's a hot and humid day out here, but the rains have quite often come down later on in the day. So some highlights from this from the first half between Kazakhstan and Malaysia. It was a setback for Malaysia as they were given a yellow card, but then at the brink of half time they did go over. They managed to go into that break with just a slight lead of 5 points to nil. As you see, the next game coming up, women's Pool E fixture. China, the runners-up from their home leg, will take on the Philippines. That will be quite a game, as Philippines will come to do well out here in Colombo. Not the best of collections from Kazakhstan from the restart. And that will give Malaysia rather a line out in their favor.
Yes, Rashwan, let's see how this plays out. Malaysia opting for the contact, I would say, and the short side. And there she goes.
Taken quickly now once again, Malaysia not messing around. They'll really look to try and go over once again, and as we speak they do. Malaysia double their lead, 10 points to nil with just the 6 players on the field. They have really done themselves a big favour. It's 10 points to nil, and that will make Kazakhstan's life a lot more difficult in the remainder of this game. A tough conversion coming up for Malaysia down that left flank. Conversion not successful. It's 10 points to nil nevertheless in favour of Malaysia, as Kazakhstan will have their work cut out for the remainder of this game.
Yes, Rashwan, I would say Kazakhstan has to look out for the sidelines, and especially the short side, I would say. Both the tries seems to have go through the short side.
Indeed, they have quite often just found Kazakhstan napping. But now Malaysia with the restart. Once again a good deep kick. Waiting for that ball to bounce was Kazakhstan, but nevertheless keeping hold of position now. Kazakhstan looking to spread that ball out wide. Pop-up pass and the good offload play from Kazakhstan. Once again ball loose, but position secured well by Kazakhstan, who really need to run from their own half. The number 8 will probably go over now for Kazakhstan for the first time in this game, as she will apply the finishing touches and really put Kazakhstan back in this encounter. 5 points to 10 though, with the conversion to follow, with an opportunity to make it a 3-pointer. Indeed she does. It's 10 points to 7. Malaysia still with the lead, but nevertheless a brilliantly worked try from Kazakhstan.
Yes, Rashwan, it's really about moving the ball from side to side, corner to corner. And that's the kickoff.
Once again a deep kick. Malaysia returning back the favour. They want to push play into that Kazakhstan half, but now Kazakhstan trailing in the game. Plenty of pressure on the girls in white. But now once again, brilliant break, brilliant offload play. Manages to keep it cleanly. As now once again Kazakhstan. Conditions just not helping her, but nevertheless some good feet. And that will be Kazakhstan, who will go over the whitewash and give them the lead for the first time in this game against Malaysia. Try time for Kazakhstan. It's 12 points to 10 now. The conversion doesn't go through, as this will be a 2-point game as we head into the final 2.5 minutes. Some beautiful hands from Kazakhstan. She slipped, but she still managed to get on her feet and then plays out that offload really well, as the number 3 just goes over and applies the finishing touches to give Kazakhstan the lead for the first time against Malaysia.
Yes, Rashwan, at this point of the game, it's all about ball position if Kazakhstan has to win.
Time back on.
Indeed, it will be important for them to try and keep position and keep Malaysia at bay, who have really found themselves try and attack from the short side, but spreading that ball out wide are Malaysia. Scanning her options, but opts to go for that kick. Kazakhstan back in their half. Good pressure coming in from that number 6 from her own kick, as Kazakhstan have quite found themselves guilty in knocking that ball forward. They've done it once again.
Yes, Rashwan, I would say it's not too late for Malaysia to gain the lead as well with how they're playing ball now.
Once again, it will be a feed in for Malaysia to try and go over and score. Possibly the next try in this game will be the decisive one. Malaysia, the best of scrums, but still manages to keep hold of position. A brilliant interception from the number 11, but good defensive work coming in from Malaysia as well. And now the number 9 almost goes through that defense, and that will be the try, and probably the match-winning try for Kazakhstan as well. 17 points now, as Malaysia will have to come from behind, and they'll have to score and convert as well to just equal things here. But Kazakhstan have an opportunity to go 9 points up with this conversion. Conversion not successful. So as we head into the final 30 seconds of this game, it will be Kazakhstan with the lead of 7 points. Malaysia will have to do something remarkable to try and equal term things here. Kazakhstan with the high hanging kick manages to just invade those 10 meters, but it will bundle into touch.
Line out. Mark. Back.
Malaysia, they'll really need to try and get this ball from the line out. Good work. They'll need to attack. They'll need to show urgency, but holding on is the call. And now taken quickly once again from Kazakhstan. Not 10 meters is the call from referee Ishanka Bekun.
Yes,
Good
Rashwan.
ball play from Kazakhstan. Some good hands, Khadija.
Yes, Rashwan, and if Kazakhstan manages to keep the ball in position, and yes, they do, they offer the try. They go for the try, they go over the whitewash, and that seals the deal for Kazakhstan.
Indeed, possibly a good second half coming in from
Time
Kazakhstan. They'll end the game with a flourish, a 22 points to 10 victory for Kazakhstan. It was Malaysia who went into that break with the lead of 5 points, and then they have really bounced back well in that second half when it really was needed. That's a full-time score confirmation. Kazakhstan 22, Malaysia 10. Victory for Kazakhstan, where they really had to work hard against Malaysia. As you see some highlights from that second half, it was Malaysia who went over as soon as that second half started, but then it was a determined Kazakhstan outfit who really needed to come from behind and come from behind well, and they come from behind and win quite comfortably over this Malaysian outfit. It was convincing from Kazakhstan at the end. They really did well.
Yes, Rashwan, it's all about ball position and moving the ball from corner to corner with the least amount of handling mistakes and spotting gaps in sevens, actually. That's all about textbook rugby, I would say. And that ends Kazakhstan and Malaysia with the final scores of 22 points for 10.
More games coming up. That's the host Sri Lanka women's team getting ready for their game, as they will be in action in a moment's time. Sri Lanka will take on Thailand at 10:28 local time. The game after the game between China and Philippines. We have games coming thick and fast out here in Colombo for the Asia Rugby Emirates Sevens 2025. It will be China taking on the Philippines live from the Racecourse Stadium here in Colombo, and bring you all the live action is Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, the Papare, who are the broadcasting partners for the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025 down here in Sri Lanka. This is China and the Philippines team cards, the squads for this Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025. As we see the players heading out for this game. China will be in their traditional red outfit. The host from that leg #1. They did finish second up in China in that first leg. They will want to do one better and finish off with the ultimate prize out here in Colombo.
Behind the line, please.
The referee who will officiate things is Ibuki Tetsuka from Japan, as China will kick things off in their tournament opener against Philippines.
Not the best of receiving. Let's see how Philippines manages. Oh, and that's a turnover from China. Brilliant run. There's an amazing cut pass. And that's one number extra on the outside. Will they be able to make it? Few more meters away from the whitewash.
China with just meters away from the scrum now. Will be important for Philippines to defend well in this passage of play. China with the feed in, and that will be bread and butter stuff for China, who finished second up in China and just starting off well here in Colombo as well. In quick time they have gone over the whitewash and registered their first try against the Philippines.
And that's a successful conversion as well. It's all about textbook rugby, isn't it, Rashwan?
Indeed, just brilliant work from China, going over at ease and drawing first blood against Philippines. The conversion was successful as well, as China with the lead, 7 points to nil. Not the best of restart kicks, not going the 10 meters, so it will be Philippines with an opportunity to try and respond to that early try which China scored. Puts in the kick, Philippines, no one in the back. It's a race, a foot race, well and surely not won by Philippines. They managed to fumble that ball in the try line, and that will be quite an unfortunate incident for Philippines to try and respond. But nevertheless, they have a scrum to defend now. As you see the replay, just couldn't get her hands to it.
Yes, Rashfan, she actually spotted that there was no sweeper in the back and therefore opted for the kick. That's very unfortunate. Let's see how China plays this off.
China now taking that tap quickly, looking to run from their own 22. This is good from China. And that will be yet another try for China. They had to run from one try line to the other try line, and they do it in quite emphatic way to get their second try. And that will increase their points to 12 points to nil. And this game for Philippines will be a long one.
Yes, Rashwan, that's absolute brilliance and also amazing footwork, I would say. That step really broke the defense line, spotted the gap. And there she goes.
Indeed, brilliant work from China. Really stamping the authority here out here in Colombo. They did finish second up in China. They'll well and surely want to finish on the top out here in Colombo. Restart not collected cleanly from Philippines. Fumbles it, and that will be a feed in favor of China to follow. The China faithful well and surely will be quite happy with how things are going on for now. Leading this game 12 points to nil. We'll look to continue the good work as this game goes on.
Cross.
Yes, Rashwan, with only less than 2 minutes on our clock. Scrum in favor of China.
One call, one.
Referee having a word with
Cross.
the players. It's now once again China with the feed in. Good work from scrum down for China. Good hands once again. Good running line, and that will be try number 3 for China. 17 points now as Philippines are really being put into the test, and China running away with the game well and surely. 17 points to nil with the conversion to follow, and quite a regulation kick as well. Makes no mistake. Make it 19 points to nil as we approach the halftime break.
Yes, Rashwan, that's a beautiful way to create gap. As you can see.
And now once again with the restart kick, China this time around. Good kick, good high hanging kick. Philippines waiting for that ball to bounce, which can be quite dangerous as China have managed to get position now once again. Long cutout pass. Scanning her options, and once again that number 22 running that correct line, and that will be China with yet another touchdown. It's 24 points to nil, and the 4th try in this game for the Chinese ladies. Just picking up from where they left off from that first leg of the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 series. They really look to finish right at the top here out here in Colombo. A convincing first half performance from China, and Philippines will really have to do something remarkable to come back into this game in the second half. Halftime score confirmation: China 26, Philippines 0. Welcome back to Colombo for the Asia Rugby Men's 7 Series second leg, as we take a look at the highlights from that first half, where China absolutely ran riot from the word go, demanding 26-point lead over Philippines in this Pool E second game. China will well and surely be the front runners in this group to finish in first, but they have Kazakhstan and Malaysia coming up next for them. As you take a look at the next game coming up, it's the host Sri Lanka taking on Thailand. Sri Lanka did finish 9th up in China in that first leg, and Thailand finished 4th, so a uphill battle for Sri Lanka against a much favoured Thailand, but nevertheless Sri Lanka are the host, playing at home, will really want to stamp their authority. It's China now. Once again, will look to try and add more points to this 26 points they have. Once again, spreading that ball out wide are China. They have really done that well throughout that first half. The coach would have had a much easier talk in that halftime break. Once again, a fumble from Philippines will give China a scrum in their favor and an opportunity to try and add more points to this 26 points they have scored in that first half.
Yes, Rishwan, you can actually see the fatigue kicking in as well. It's quite challenging playing in these humid conditions.
Cross. Bind.
And that's a scrum in favor of China. That's a beautiful feed in.
Once again, China with that beautiful run, and she will go and go over well, and that will be China with yet another try. And right now, really running riot are China against this Philippines outfit. 31 points to nil with the conversion to follow. A tough kick to follow for China, but nevertheless they have a demanding lead here. The conversion doesn't go through, but that won't matter, as his 31-point cushion will well and surely be quite an uphill battle for Philippines to come back into. Some good hands, some good running lines from China have really put them in a demanding position in this game. It's around less than 5 minutes to be played in this encounter. China will well and surely look to see this game off and continue their dominance, as they will be really eyeing that big crown here in Colombo.
Hitting the ball offside. Hitting the ball in front of player touch.
Offside is the call from referee, and China rightly opting for scrum. They have really done well from those scrums, and they look to continue as well.
Yes, Rashwan, it's all about ball position and creating gaps in sevens.
Bind.
And so far we have seen some amazing play from China, especially from the breakdowns.
Gee, now once again, ball out wide, allowing that ball to bounce, and the Philippines are first to it, but not the best of passes. A forward pass is the call from the referee, and China looking to bring on some fresh legs. They have the capability of doing that as well. A 31-point cushion gives the coach to bring on the bench.
Cross.
It's China now once again with the feed in.
Set. Market here. Behind the trees. Crops in.
Once again, quick tap from China. Scanning her options. Opts to go from the far side is China.
Marco.
And that's an extra man on the outside. Will she be able to go down the whitewash? Brilliant offload. And there she goes.
Indeed, bread and butter stuff for China as they get yet another try. And that will be 36 points to nil. This is getting a tad bit too easy for this China outfit. It was expected. And the conversion doesn't go through. It will be 36 points to nil. Nevertheless, China in a demanding position. Once again, you see that supporting running line was just brilliant from this Chinese outfit throughout this game. And they've really ran a riot against this Philippines outfit. 36 points to nil reads the scoreline with around less than 2 minutes left on our clock. Plenty of work cut out for the Philippines outfit. Not the best of restarts from China, as Philippines will look to try and possibly get a consolation try, or consolation score at least.
Yes, Trashman, and you can see that's a brilliant run.
Yeah.
And that's holding on from Philippines. They really have to make sure to keep ball position at this crucial time. But China on attack. And there you go, that's yet another try that would seal the deal completely. It's not that it wasn't sealed before.
Indeed, it doesn't get more convincing for China. 41 points to nil with the conversion to follow. This time around as well, not successful from China, but that won't matter. A 41 point lead will well and surely be enough now, as the Philippines will really look to try and get a consolation score in. It's been a tough outing for Philippines against a much favoured China outfit, as the kick goes deep. Not the best of collections, but still manages to get hold of position, puts that ball into boot, waits for that rugby ball to bounce, and boots it one more time. And still, ball loose as China secures position.
Yes, Dad.
Yes,
We'll
yes,
look to finish this game on a flourish.
I'd say this is the final play. And there she goes. Just one person to beat. Quickly releases and regathers. Taken quickly.
Once again, good spread from China, as they will really finish this game on a high. They do finish it with a touchdown, and elated dugout from China, as they will well and surely be quite happy with how things have gone against Philippines. 46 points to nil with the conversion to follow, and it doesn't get more convincing for China. 46 points to nil with the conversion to follow, and the conversion doesn't go through. It will be a demanding and a convincing win for China over Philippines, and they'll be quite the happy bunch who did finish second up in China, and they'll really look to go one up here in Colombo. That's your full-time score confirmation. China did run riot as they clinch a convincing win over Philippines, 46 points to nil. Highlights from that second half. It was Philippines who just couldn't find any answers to this Chinese attack, and China absolutely ran riot in that second half. They picked up from where they left off in that first half as well. When they were going into the break, it was 26 points to nil, and then from there on it was no stopping China as they do clinch this encounter quite convincingly.
Yes, Rashwan, it's all about this technique. Brilliant technique from China.
Indeed, we see the key stats from the game between China and Philippines. It was 8 tries scored from China, just 3 converted, but that was not a big problem for China. 46 points to nil, a convincing win at the end for China, who look to really go all the way out here in Colombo at the second leg of the Asia Rugby Emirates Sevens 2025.
And we move into our next game as the hosts Sri Lanka will take the field for the first time in their home leg. Placed 9th last time round in China. We'll be hoping they can do a bit better than that. But the challenge in front of them is Thailand, who were in the top 4 last time out. And straight away a deep kickoff. But it's Sri Lanka with ball at hand.
Yes, Nathan, they are at the red zone, I would say. Sri Lanka. What would they opt for?
A lot of work to do for that lady out wide on the left. No support on the left hand side, and she has conceded the penalty. And Thailand will take it quickly. Inches away from the try line, but she's dropped it cold. And that you have to say is a very early reprieve for Sri Lanka, who are pinned back in their own 22. Well, lost for options. The ball is loose yet again, and that looks like Sri Lanka have lost it forward, and the first set piece of this game will be in favour of Thailand. But scrappy start so far from both the sides. I thought Thailand had an opportunity to score.
Yes, Nathan. And even now, I would say they do have a chance with only 5 meters away from the whitewash. It's all about hands, the passes, and the gap. Then there they go for the first try against Sri Lanka. Thailand with 5 points to nil with the conversion to follow.
Yes, a simple rugby there from Thailand, drawing and passing. They didn't need to make that final pass. The gap just opened up for them right under the post. And the easiest of conversions, and it's the Thailand ladies with their early 7-0 advantage. Just 2 minutes or so into this first half. We'll have a look at that replay. Can't blame that last defender either. Didn't know which attacker to close down. And all that ended up doing was opening up the gaps for Thailand. Now have their noses in front.
Yes, Nathan, I would say Now from the restart kick, Sri Lanka has to manage to keep ball position. And that's number 7. Loses the ball. And Thailand on attack. Would that be an easy try? Yes, once again.
Yes, that occasion you have to say lack of coordination among the Sri Lankan players. Khadija was not supporting their players in the ruck, and that opened up the opportunity for Thailand to turn over that ball and go over comfortably, as you said, for their second try. It looks all too easy at the moment for them. And the conversion is through as well from a tight angle. So 14 points up, still with almost 4 minutes left to play in this first half. We'll take a look at the replay there. Collection was clean. Good run as well. But there you see just a lack of support at the ruck.
Yes, Nathan. It's all about teamwork and coordination. And so far into the game, that's Sri Lanka back again with the receiving. Not very clean, I would say.
Yes, still looking a bit rusty at the moment. Long days play ahead here at the second leg of the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 series. Have action all the way up until 10 p.m. local. And now finally the Sri Lankans getting some offloads together. But again, those options just not opening up for them at the moment. But they'll do well to just keep ball in hand and not try and concede another try. But just as I say, that ball ripped away at the ruck once again. And now Thailand with that extra man on the outside. Here's the number 10 for Thailand going over for her second. And the third for her country. It's looking all too easy at the moment for Thailand.
Yes, Nathan, it's all about looking at the short side and the side of attack as well. Sri Lanka seems to be napping outside the shots.
Yes, and that number 10 player for Thailand, she's been brilliant defensively. You have to say, won a possession back a couple of times already, and 2 of those have resulted in a try. She has a brace so far. Let's take a look at that replay once again. Ball was loose, and there was no stopping that runner for Thailand. Narathip Manesai for Thailand. 2 tries so far and 3 tries for her country. Just over 1.5 minutes left to play in this first half. For Sri Lanka are to spark a comeback, they'll need to make something happen and make it happen fast. Now playing against the clock as well. Scrappy stuff again from that last ruck, but Sri Lanka still with ball in hand. And looks like they have drawn the penalty as well, or is it? It looks like the ball has been knocked on in that last ruck, and it will be another scrum in favour of Thailand as Sri Lanka look to their bench.
Yes, Nathan, it's all about the breakdowns and also the technique. It's all about the basics, actually, I would say, in sevens, and about speed. You have to make sure that you make the right decisions, that you support play.
Yes, couldn't agree more, Khadija. The game of sevens rugby, you often think you need a fancy set move or some fancy offloads to gain that edge, but sometimes it can be as simple as drawing and passing. You have the entire length of the field, but just the 7 players. And if you do your basics right, that's more often than not, that's going to be enough to open up most defenses. It's another scrum here in favour of Sri Lanka, as time has run out on our clocks, and Sri Lanka will certainly be hoping that they can try and pull one back before lemons. Here's a lovely wrap move coming in from Sri Lanka. The offloads sticking to hand, have that man on the outside. but that's an important tackle coming in. Sparing the blushers potentially. And bundling her man out into touch. Coach Asela for Sri Lanka probably has plenty to say over that half-time break, doesn't he? And you take a look at that tackle there.
Yes, Nathan, it's all about the running lines actually. The corner man has to make that run. And there you go, Thailand. Few players to beat. Oh, and that's a knock forward. And that ends the first half for Thailand and Sri Lanka.
So a scrappy half from both these sides, you have to say, but it's Sri Lanka that made mistakes, and also on the territory as well. Majority of that first half was played inside the Sri Lankan 22, and hence Thailand find themselves 3 scores ahead. There you have your halftime confirmation. It's 19 points unanswered in favor of Thailand. So we're back for the second half, and an important second half, you have to say, for Sri Lanka. But before that, we'll have a look at the first half highlights. Like we were saying a little while earlier, Khadija, majority of that first half was played inside Sri Lanka's red zone. And plenty of loose ball situations at the ruck. And that number 10 player for Thailand has been instrumental, winning plenty of turnovers and getting 2 tries of her own.
Yes, Nathan. It's all about the ball position as well. Sri Lanka has not managed to keep ball position and move forward in gaining their lines.
Yes, and coming up in the women's pool F, we'll have Hong Kong, China taking on Singapore, and that promises to be yet another try-fest. We know how dangerous Hong Kong, China can be attacking. But for now, it's Sri Lanka to kick things off. But like you were saying, Khadija, Sri Lanka not able to keep ball at hand. And Thailand as well had their moments when they let the ball go loose. But they were playing their rugby in the right part of the field. And hence were in prime position to capitalize on any Sri Lankan errors. And now kickoff cleanly collected. And now just swinging it from left to right. Waiting for those gaps to open up, and that's exactly what happens. Right down the middle she goes. Didn't need to wait too long for that first score, did Thailand. And it'll be the 4th score and the 2nd score for that lady in the number 1 jumper. Making it look all too easy at the moment, straight from kickoff, and this is exactly what we were talking about just before halftime. Sometimes the game of sevens can be as simple as just keeping ball at hand and drawing and passing, and the gaps eventually will open up. Had the entire length of the field to play with, and does so to perfection, and the try goes converted as well. So it's Thailand now with their noses comfortably ahead.
Yes, Nathan, so it's all about basics, just like we talked about. And Sri Lanka should manage with their defense to be more coordinated, I would say. In sevens, it's all about attack and defense, but defense plays a crucial part in managing the scores. So it all starts from the restart kicks.
Yes, they say attack wins you games, but it's your defense that wins you championships, isn't it? And straight from kickoff once again, ball bounces kindly for Thailand, collected by the number 2. Looks to go inside, but doesn't need to. She was already over the line, and that's the 5th try for Thailand, and their 2nd try in this second half. We've only played a minute and a half.
Yes, Nathan, Sri Lanka really should try to make some scores right now, since we are at the 5-minute mark.
10 seconds.
Only a couple of minutes.
And the conversion from a tough angle goes big in, but it's still 31 points to nothing in favor of Thailand. Take a look at that try straight from kickoff. And Sri Lanka making that cardinal error of letting the high ball bounce, and you never want to do that in the game of rugby at any level.
Yes, Nathan. Sri Lanka almost had it. Let's see how this goes again. Bounces out. And that would be a line out.
Yes, I think it struck the hand of one of the Sri Lankan players before going out, because it's a line out in favor of Thailand. Just inside 40 meters. And now's the time you want to go for one of your set moves, but she's overthrown it, and now Sri Lanka have won back possession. Quick hands through the line. But the Thai defense seems a lot more composed, scrambling and getting into their positions in the nick of time and making Sri Lanka wait for that first score.
And that's holding on, Nathan. I would say the defense is quite fast, even when the position is with Sri Lanka. And there we go. So far, Thailand has made some amazing runs, haven't they, Nathan?
Yes, the running lines from them, especially from that number one player. She's broken the line straight to the middle on a couple of occasions. And now it's a bit scrappy from Thailand, but still managed to come away with the ball. Here's the number two going around that left-hand side once again. The defense nowhere to be found, and that allows her to run right round the racecourse turf and touchdown under the post for yet another try to Thailand. It's 36 points to nothing with the conversion to come.
Yes, Nathan, with 3 minutes on our clock, it's going to be quite a challenge for Sri Lanka to score. It's not that it's impossible, they still can, but they really have to talk and communicate in order to make scores.
Yes, communication is key. You can see there, ball was loose from Thailand, and in this game, from what we've seen so far, if Sri Lanka had made that mistake, you'd 100% expect Thailand to make that turnover and try and launch an attack. But here, lack of communication in the defense, and Thailand managed to win back their own loose ball. So you see some support for the home side, Sri Lanka. Some support for the home side, Sri Lanka. After all, this is their home leg, and you would expect the local fans to come out in their numbers, especially later in the day. A weekend full of rugby action here at the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series.
Yes, Nathan, we still are playing inside our 22. We haven't been able to gain, and I would say it's all about the depth, Nathan. There you go, there's another loose ball. Sri Lanka opts for their own try.
Yes, left with absolutely no choice there, you have to say. Pass not going anywhere near the hands, and it'll be a 5-meter scrum in favor of Thailand, and they'll be looking to try and add another score. Points as well is of paramount importance, isn't it, Khadija, especially considering the qualification procedure into the second round. It's the 3 first place teams along with the best loser or the best second place team in their group. And when it comes to judging that, points difference could be of utmost importance. So even when you have the ascendancy, it's important that you don't take the foot off the gas. It's Sri Lanka that have shoved illegally and taken quickly by Thailand, and she's wriggled through for the try. It's 43 points now to Thailand with a conversion to come. And Sri Lanka faltering in defense yet again, this time at the scrum down.
Yes, Nathan, so many cardinal errors. Not the one you expect at this level of games.
Yes, certainly, Khadija, it's important that you do your basics right. There you have a replay. Again, plenty of gaps opening up in the Sri Lankan defense. He went right through the middle. And as time has run out on our clocks, if Thailand can win this kickoff, they'll be hoping they can add another try. But as for Sri Lanka, ahead of their next couple of group games, they'd want to go back to the drawing board, go back to their basics, as the referee has blown for full time, and it's Thailand that have blown away Sri Lanka in this first game. 43 unanswered points in favor of Thailand, the fourth seeded side in this second leg, as you have your full time confirmation. 43 points to nothing in favor of Thailand, and it's been a comprehensive performance from them so far in their first game in leg 2. We'll take a look at the second half highlights straight from kickoff. The textbook try from Thailand. Waited for the gaps to open up and went over for their first try, and then this one.
Yes, Nathan, it's all about keeping the ball in your hand, and Sri Lanka manages to fail at every time right after the restart, and Thailand took advantage of those mistakes, and therefore we had the score.
Yes, you can see that third try in the second half, it was really scrappy from Thailand, but the Sri Lankan defense not up to the task to pounce on that loose ball, and the end result being an under the post try to Thailand. You don't see that too often from a loose ball situation. As we'll take a look at the key stats from that game: 7 tries and 4 conversions for Thailand. And if you're a Sri Lankan faithful, if you're one of the supporters of the home team, you wouldn't want to take a look at that right hand side column. Sri Lanka had absolutely nothing going for them in that first game, but hopefully they'll be able to bounce back. We know the talent that they possess in their ranks. Still have a couple of group games left to come. Hopefully they can go back to the drawing board and mount a comeback in those games. And with that being said, we'll move on into our next game, Hong Kong China taking on Singapore, as the crowd slowly but surely making their way to the racecourse. Now, next game, Hong Kong China, one of the stronger outfits in this women's division and in the men's division as well, taking on Singapore. They'll be hoping to continue in their momentum and try and hit the ground running in this second leg.
Yes, Nathan, it's absolutely going to be exciting between Hong Kong and Singapore. Let's see how it turns out. So far in the games of Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025, Hong Kong has been one of the main teams that lead and dominate the field, I would say.
Yes, definitely, Khadija. Hopefully they'll be living up to expectations. So we take a look at the team cards for this next game. Hong Kong: Gabriela Rivers, Chloe Chen, Maggie Yeng, Julia Oyana, Kaman Nam, Natasha Thorne and Melody Lee. And for Singapore, you'll have Nicole Tanzi Yu, Simpeki Lili, Wang Lin Amanda, Wan Shan Felicia, Chen Chloe, Chong Min and Victoria Chu. Plenty of talent in both those ranks here at the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series second leg. Message to all our local viewers: if you are in the vicinity, please do make your way down to the racecourse. The Asia Rugby Sevens returning to Sri Lanka after a lapse of 8 years. Certainly an occasion worth celebrating, as now these two teams take to the middle. And all these live pictures brought to you courtesy the Papare, the official production and broadcasting partner of the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025 second leg. Hong Kong in their blue strip and Singapore in the red. And the referee Ayman Driji from Saudi Arabia. Great exposure for the referees as well, isn't it, Khadija? Not just the local referees but the international referees as well get to make their way down to Colombo and ref an Asian Rugby 7 series. And it will be Hong Kong to kick things off from left to right in the first half.
Yes, Nathan, absolutely. There goes the kickoff. A long cutout pass to the corner, I would say. It's quite messy from the start.
Yes, and the ball picked up at ruck time by Hong Kong China, and now have plenty of numbers out wide on the left. Doesn't need them, does the number 2. Manages to barge through for the first try in the first 30 seconds, and this is exactly the start that Hong Kong China would have wanted. But yet again from Singapore, some scrappy stuff from them, conceding the ball at the breakdown. And Hong Kong China were there to pounce, and it's a 7-0 cushion for them. Less than a minute played. Not the optimal start for Singapore, isn't it? They wouldn't have wanted to concede so easily and so early into this game. But they do have time on their side, and opportunities will come for them to try and hit back. And here's a half break coming in from the number 12. So straight away Singapore trying to straighten up their act.
Yes, Nathan, still Hong Kong manages to keep their composure in defense as well.
Yes, and the defense is creeping up on them. Incredible line speed from Hong Kong, but unfortunately that will be a high shot.
But there is a significant drop from,
And,
from red, so it will
Thought
be a
the
yellow card.
tackler was a bit unlucky there. The ball carrier just slipped, and she's been given her marching orders as well. So Hong Kong will play the next 2 minutes with just the 6 players on the park, and this is an ideal opportunity for Singapore to try and hit back and try and pull back one score after conceding early.
Yes, Nathan, let's see how Singapore manages to make score with the numbers advantage.
Try to
With only 6 players from the Hong Kong side.
crouch, bind.
Scrum in their favour, but inside their own 5 meter. How they exit from this will be crucial for Singapore. Opts to put the ball to boot. The chase is on, but it's the Hong Kong player that gets there first, but the bounce is kind for Singapore. So a net gain for them. And now looking to go laterally. Have an extra man out wide on the left. Opts to go for the gap instead. Does the number 7. Probably would have done better to try and find her extra man on the left. But instead she's conceded the penalty for holding on. And you have to say that's a chance gone begging for Singapore.
Yes, Nathan, could have been a beautiful wraparound pass, but I don't think that they saw it coming. And Hong Kong, still as I said, manages to keep their composure in defense. And now a scrum
Like this.
in the favor of Hong Kong.
Yes, what can they make of this? A scrum on the halfway mark with one man down though. Just the 3 players in their line, and that's a good hit coming in from Singapore. Manages to force the knock on, and now that space opening up for the extra man from Singapore. Needs support though.
Stop. You drop the
Support doesn't arrive, and it looks like she's lost the ball forward. And that's back-to-back opportunities squandered by Singapore when they've had the numerical advantage as well.
Yes, Nathan, so far Hong Kong is playing quite beautifully with their experience, I would say. Still with the player outside. Manages to keep the scores.
Crouch, bind, set.
It's another scrum in favour of Hong Kong. It's a bustling run here, bumps off a couple of tackles. Needs to look for her options.
No red, no red.
Had one of her mates run in a supporting line, but couldn't find her. Now Hong Kong trying to create that
Play on first one.
outnumbering on the right, but it's ripped away from them at the breakdown. And now here come Singapore. So pretty end-to-end stuff here in this game so far. Exciting stuff, but it's still just the one score in it. And if it stays this way, it'll be Hong Kong, China that will be the happier side at the end of these 14 minutes.
Yes, Nathan, we can really see Singapore trying to manage and move past the red zone. Still unable to do so. It's all about the depth, the pass, and its accuracy, I would say. Spots no sweeper in the back, opts for the kick.
Yes, opts for the kick. There was no one sweeping for Hong Kong, but the chase wasn't the best as well from Singapore, and Hong Kong allowed to pick that up. And now we'll run at the Singapore line once again. Doing well to manage the game with just the 6 players on the park, and now they've been restored back to their full complement of 7. Here's that player for Hong Kong once again, bumping off a couple of tackles, bringing her side to the edge of the 22. But after conceding early, Singapore have tightened up in defense, but attack hasn't opened up for them.
Backward, play on.
Now some quick hands from Hong Kong as they motor towards the try line, looking for their second score. Create that overlap out wide on the left, and that's a textbook try from Hong Kong, China, who go over for their second. They were made to wait, but eventually get the result that they wanted.
Yes, Nathan. Even after the yellow card, we could see that Hong Kong manages to keep the scores even without letting Singapore score, and therefore they are quite successful in managing the scores. And that's an unsuccessful attempt at the conversion. Still, with the scores 12-0 so far.
Yes, you have to say Hong Kong deserved that try for the way they managed the game with just the 6 players. Singapore did tighten up in defense, but eventually managed to create that overlap. And that's their second score with just under 30 seconds left on the clock in this first half. Excellent stuff from Hong Kong, China so far, both in attack and in defense. And the Singapore player just chooses to put that out into touch, and we'll have half time. It's Hong Kong, China with their noses in front, 12-0. Has been good game management from them so far. As there you have your halftime confirmation. Hong Kong, China with their noses in front, 12-0. Singapore, even though they had a couple of chances, have failed to launch any attack of note and still find themselves playing from behind. All to play for in the second half then, here at the racecourse. And we're back for the second half in this women's fixture between Hong Kong, China and Singapore. Here's the highlights from that first half. It was Hong Kong, China that hit the ground running, opening the scoring in just the first 30 minutes. And then we immediately reduced to just the 6 players, but managed that passage of play brilliantly. And although Singapore managed to tighten up in defense after that first couple of minutes, right on the brink of half-time, they went over for the try and find themselves 12-0 ahead. As we take a look at our next fixture. A mighty close game between Malaysia and South Korea, and it will be our first men's fixture in the Asia Emirates Rugby Sevens Leg 2 here in Colombo.
Ready? Here, ready?
And it will be Singapore to kick things off. A deep kick straight away goes right into the 22 for Hong Kong. And the defense doesn't sweep up in time for Singapore, and Hong Kong given plenty of open space to run into. And if there's one thing you don't want to allow these Hong Kong runners to have, it is open space, isn't it? We know how dangerous they can be from those sorts of situations. And straight away, gaps opening up, and this might be a length of the field try for Hong Kong China. Motoring towards that try line. The number 2 goes over for her brace. And we were talking about how Hong Kong China love the open spaces. And now we just saw what they can do when they have them.
Yes, Nathan, it's all about the absolute physicality of the Hong Kong China players. From the start, we could see all their brilliant hits, their running lines, their absolute massive defense.
Yes, talking about the physicality, they needed a couple of defenders to bring her down, and even then had the presence of mind to put the ball down and pick it back up.
You are free, you can play it.
They have to say that's an intelligent play there from Hong Kong China. I don't think most players would do that. They'd look to send the ball out and form that ruck, but knew that her side had the physical advantage, and that kickoff has been dropped by Singapore, and it will be Hong Kong China now with a scrum in their favor within 40 meters. And as you can see, Hong Kong China looking to go to their bench as well. That's another facet of the game of sevens that almost always goes unnoticed, isn't it? Strength of the bench is important, especially in these 2-day tournaments as well. You find yourself playing at least 6 to 8 games, and it's never easy to play on the full length of the pitch. So when you do have the opportunity to get your finishers on, it's important that you do so, and that's what Hong Kong China are doing.
Yes, Nathan, and with that cushion of 17 points to nil, I think Hong Kong China can change absolutely as many players as they want in the field. And there's a number on the outside. Not the best of passes.
Backward, play on.
Still managing, and that's still managing to keep position.
Back, please.
Yes, excellent stuff from Hong Kong China, keeping the ball at hand. Now swinging it from right to left, waiting for that gap to open up. Bumping off a couple of players yet again, using that physical advantage to their favor. Quick hands is needed from that ruck. Ball falls favorably, but unfortunately has been lost forward in the process. And that was a golden opportunity for Hong Kong China to try and add their fourth, but just a bit loose with the handling.
Yes, Nathan, and you could see an absolute brilliant continuity of play in the game. There's no stopping at breakdowns, quick passes, and very tactical from Hong Kong China.
Yes, and that's the part of the game that you need to perfect, isn't it? Especially at an international level, you feel that for most of these players to make it on the international level in terms of talent and physicality, you have to be at a certain level. So after that, what gives you the edge is your tactical play and your mentality, and that's what Hong Kong China have been doing, and it's worked out for them so far. 17-0 with their noses in front. 3 minutes left to play. They'll be hoping to try and add another couple of scores, really help their cause in terms of the points difference as well.
And I think now Singapore manages to get the ball positioned because of a holding on.
Scrum, he told me the call. Scrum called. Scrum called.
And Singapore going to their bench as well, getting some of their finishers on. Can hopefully spark something, try and pull a try or two back and run this strong Hong Kong China outfit close.
I think both the teams have fresh legs, Nathan. So it's going to be quite the exciting encounter, I would say. Still, Singapore has the chance to manage a score with 17 points to nil.
Set. Now stay nice.
Singapore with the feed, but the support wasn't there. Lost for options. And once again, Hong Kong China showing their line speed defensively, trying to pin back Singapore inside their own half. But lovely step there, making a half break, but still
Advantage.
support taking a bit too long to arrive for Singapore.
Back 10.
But they have won the penalty. And the gap was opening up, but unfortunately she's lost the ball forward again. And possession will be turned over to Hong Kong China.
Here is your mark.
We can see Singapore having more replacements. Fatigue really kicking in during these humid conditions. I mean, you could see it in their passes, Nathan.
Yes, tried to get a few offloads in, but unfortunately the ball was lost forward. Like you said, Khadija, some of these teams might find it a bit difficult to adapt to the hot and humid Sri Lankan weather. And there, Hong Kong China dropping the ball, but were playing under advantage, and now they'll take it quickly. Have an extra man on the right hand side, finds that player, and she'll go over for the fourth try for Hong Kong China. So more simple stuff from them, running those supporting lines and drawing and passing. And they take a comfortable 22-0 lead now with the conversion to come as well.
All about the basics, just like we discussed, right, Nathan? Hong Kong has managed to keep all their composure and remaining absolutely calm, but at the same time managing the momentum of the game. They weren't slow, they weren't stopping, they just kept moving.
Yes, certainly. Continuity of play as well is important. And that's something that a lot of teams strive to perfect, and Hong Kong China have done that well so far. As time has run out on our clocks, it'll be one last chance for Hong Kong China to try and add that fifth score. High hanging kick, and Singapore just choosing to put that out into touch and go back to the drawing board. They'll look to mount a comeback in their next couple of games, but it's Hong Kong China, as expected, that have hit the ground running. 22 points to nil, a comfortable victory for them over Singapore. Singapore had their moments, but especially in attack they did falter on a couple of occasions, and couple of try scoring opportunities went begging, but there you have your full-time confirmation. It's 22 points to nothing in favor of Hong Kong China, who get the perfect start to their campaign in the second leg of this Asia Rugby Sevens. And we'll take a look at the second half highlights. That there was a really intelligent try.
Yes, Nathan, absolutely brilliant stuff from Hong Kong China.
Yes, and have a look at that second try as well. Tiring the defense, drawing and passing. And that was their fourth and final try in this clash. As we take a look at the key stats, 4 tries and 1 conversion for Hong Kong China and nothing for Singapore. Clinical performance from them, as they have hit the ground running, as they try to take the crown back in the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 series. And up next we'll have our first men's fixture between Malaysia and Korea. It's the crowd slowly but surely building up into the racecourse. Plenty of foreign support as well, isn't it, coming down to Sri Lanka to support their national teams. So take a look at the next game. Malaysia taking on South Korea here at the racecourse in Colombo.
Malaysia set to take on South Korea in what promises to be a thriller. Well, the Malaysians, they will be coming up with Zafir Ahmad, Izwan, Hafiz, Halim, Ilham, Amar, Zul Hisham, Amar, Zulwahi Abdin and Iqbal, as South
Koreans have Kim, Lim, Jiwoo Park, Gingwoo Kim, Kim, Moon, Ji-hoon Park, Sebin Lee, Jin Yong Lee, Hwang Yong will make out the South Korean outfit. As you see the two teams, the first men's fixture for the day, Romario. It's going to be an interesting one. South Korea, of course, will not be too happy with their performance in China, but this leg will be the leg that they'll try to draw one back and try to do one better from their 7th place finish in the first leg.
Indeed, they will no doubt be hoping to better their 7th place finish. As Singapore, well, they will no doubt have a task at hand, as referee Ayman from Saudi will be the man in charge, with Tarunu Chaturanga on one touchline and Suranga Arunashanta on the other.
You have the Malaysians there. They toured Sri Lanka at the beginning of this year in the 15s format. A couple of these players also featured in that 15s outfit. But now it's going to be a different challenge for them in the shorter format of the game. 7s is a format that they've performed well, but how can they cope with the pressure here in the second leg at the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 series? The men's segment kicks off here in Colombo. Contestable kickoff from South Korea, but they get the ball back. Here's quick hands for the Koreans. It's Park who creates the gap, and there's space on the outside for Hwang to go through. That's going to be the first go. Easy does it for the South Koreans, identifying where the gap was, but I thought that try was scored from the kickoff.
Indeed it was, and also that offload that drew two defenders. Here you see that replay there. Gets the pass. There you go. The two defenders drawn, and the back of the hand offload that sets things up for the winger in the scrum cap to dot down, and that's the opening try for South Korea, as the conversion too is successful. 7 points to nil with just a minute on the clock.
Good early try for South Korea, getting their ball rolling in this second leg. Here's another restart, but this one doesn't travel the 10 meters.
Horrendous restart there by the South Koreans. And now Malaysia, well, beg your pardon, it's Malaysia. They will be with an opportunity.
Here's a ball for Izwan. Ammar looks to find his number 9 there on the corner. Zul Hilmi, but South Korea come away with the ball there, looking to stretch the Malaysian defense, but the South Koreans are met with a good tackle there from Iqbal in that number 7 jersey for Malaysia. Here's space on the out for South Korea. Ji-hoon Park there, brought down by the Malaysian defense. Now spreading it from side to side once again, skipping a couple of tackles, ducking under another, and gets past the 50 meter there, but good defense on the ground there from Malaysia.
Holding on, says the referee Ayman. as a player is receiving some treatment, and by the looks of it, doesn't look too promising. The stretcher seems to be coming on the field as Malaysia's woes are compounding. They yield a try, and now a man down, and he's been stretchered off. So it's not going to be easy for Malaysia.
Unfortunate, the early doors in a 2-day tournament, Romario. Not ideal when you lose a player. You really don't want to lose any of your players going into the business end of this competition. This is just the first game, but a lot to look forward to for these two teams. For all the teams competing, 12 teams in the men's section in the segment and 12 teams in the women's segment. But have a look at the replay there. Just hurt his knee there. You can see him crouching and holding his knee.
Yeah, I think when he stepped, there was a bit of force that went there through his knee, and the knee that is heavily strapped has now given way. Time has been switched back on as the penalty finds touch, and now Malaysia will look to build on from
Korea to the edge.
First real set piece of the game coming the way of Malaysia. They'll have the throw in. The next fixture coming your way is going to be an interesting one. Hong Kong, China taking on the Philippines. Line out secured by Putra, who sends it to his line. Switching across and coming right across the defense of the South Koreans. Zuhairi finds a gap. No one wants to tackle him from South Korea. Brought down 5 meters away from the line. They need quick recycle ball here. South Korea will have to dig deep here in defense. Hafizi takes it forward, but the good defense from South Korea comes to the fore, but he needed to roll away there.
Let him run!
Quickly taken there from Malaysia. Zul Hisham there brought down. Once again, here's the man who brought them to this part of the field, who gives it across. South Korea drift in defense, but don't drift well enough. That's going to be the first try for Malaysia. Ammar scores on the right hand side touchline. It's 5 points to 7.
5 points to 7, and they strike back straight away to Malaysia. All set up by the player in the number 11 jumper, as he made a break through the heart of defense of this South Korean team, and there was no stopping him. It was Azwan who made that break for Malaysia. Now from the far touchline, the conversion isn't successful, so it's a 2-point ball game here at the racecourse grounds. As we have a look at that replay there, the floated, the loopy pass. Still they managed to commit that Korean defender, and once they managed to do so, down the touchline did the try scorer go.
Really crafty player there. Ammar looking for work to do. Got around on the loop and scored that try for Malaysia, an important score. Here's the restart, a good contestable one, but collected cleanly there by Taekyun Kim, but the tackler needed to roll away there. Here's South Korea with the ball in hand. Once again looking to spread the defense, but running through that gap once again is Ji-Hoon Park, and looks to get the offload, but coming in the way there once again. Malaysia stopped that phase of attack from South Korea. Now they slow it down a tad bit, but they lose it on the ground. Snapped up by South Korea. Here's Taekyun Kim running away with it. Ammar comes in and saves the day for them. And what a defensive performance there from Ammar, the try scorer, forcing the penalty there.
Well, that was a great passage of play, and Malaysia have been rewarded for their hard work by just that single individual, as he tracked back and made all the hard work, did all the hard work by Ammar, and he managed to win the holding on penalty as well. So now Malaysia get out of their danger zone, but still stuck in their own half.
Miss. Just 2, 3.
Malaysia scored a try off
Let's go red.
a line out. That was their first try. What can they create out of this line out? The line out was clean the previous time. This time it's clean as well. Yes, Malaysia looking to create a similar move there, but the option shut out as the South Korean defense looks to swarm in on Harith Iqbal on that corner there. And winning the penalty back there was Intuak Huang on that corner in that number 14 jersey.
But by the looks of it, a scrum has been awarded to South Korea. As we will be now restarting with a scrum in favor of South Korea. Unsure why though, but play goes on.
Had a penalty coming their way. Maybe they would have opted for it, we're not too sure. But here's ball for Ji Kwal Kim. Swings it to Ji Hun Park, and now on the corner. Met in a huge tackle there. Good one coming in from Azwan Zuhairi, and wins the penalty back once again for Malaysia. The defense has been fantastic so far. They've allowed South Korea to run a bit, but not run too much. They might have missed the first tackle, but the second tackle and the work on the ground has been fantastic from them.
I think added to that, the South Koreans are finding themselves with less support as the first half comes to an end. A tight first half, 2 points separating the two teams here at the Racecourse Stadium in Colombo as the South Korean fans fill in. Game number 1 of the men's category on day 1. It's Malaysia with 5 and South Korea with 7 points. We're back here at Racecourse with live action from the first game of the men's segment. Pool A was South Korea, who struck early with a try from Huang Park, and the try went converted, but then Malaysia struck back after a couple of minutes to Amar as they drew back. However, the conversion wasn't successful, but it's a 2-point ball game as we see the next fixture, Abid.
The champions of the first leg, Hong Kong China, will take on the Philippines, who finished 12th, and they'll be the 12th seed team. So the top seeded team taking on the bottom seeded team from that first leg in China. That's going to be an interesting one to see how Hong Kong have turned around after that victory and how they've got their strategies going forward. And also for the Philippines to see how they've changed their strategies. But the game on hand now is a very close one. It's 5 points to 7. Malaysia's defense has been up to the task so far. What do we have in store for you in the second half? Good collection from South Korea there. Ji Kwal Kim collecting that ball. Now looking to run through a gap there was Tai Kyun Kim. Here's a little bit of razzle-dazzle from Sabin Lee, but a good defensive performance and a good defensive effort once again from Malaysia. Cuts that phase of attack, and there's a knock-on there.
The attack was nipped in the bud there by a massive tackle coming in and took off the hands of the ball carrier, and that meant the ball was knocked on rather.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Good scrum pressure coming in from South Korea. Yes, Zuhairi has been a real live wire so far in this half. As has that man with ball in hand. Ammar gets the offload into Zuhairi. Stepping back in, still on his feet. Looks like the man who really has got a lot of go-ahead for Malaysia. Now stretching the defence. Getting the ball into the hands of Zul Hisham, who is marshalled well by the drift defence of South Korea. Once again, Zuhairi gets the step in and steps past two players, gets the offload in. Here's the try coming in for Malaysia. That's one for the highlights reel. Adin Iman Putra will score that try. That gets Malaysia the lead. But that was all created by Zuhairi. What a try for Malaysia.
Great piece of play there by the Malaysians. And do we have a surprise brewing here in the first game of the men's segment in Pool A? Malaysia have struck back. They have gone into the lead. Now have an opportunity to extend it further. The conversion from right in front is successful. So now it's a 5-point game. As we have a look at that replay, here you go. Step 1, 2 and 3 gets the offload away, and by that time, well, the South Korean defense was reeling and there was no stopping this youngster.
Important restart coming for Malaysia.
Good to go? Okay.
12 points to 7. Just a 5-point game. Anything can happen in the game of sevens rugby. It just takes a split second for the game to turn on its head. Restart from the man who orchestrated that previous try, Zuhairi. And they've tapped the ball back. Once again, here's Zuhairi. Park gets away with the ball. Looks to offload it. Here's South Korea on the move. Kim. But play has been called back for a knock-on from Malaysia. So South Korea will have the put into the scrum.
Well, they did have the advantage, but the referee pointed out that there was a forward pass, and that's why he decided to bring back play. Well, rather, he did not have any option but to bring in play back for the first infringement, and a scrum in favor of South Korea.
Interesting setup in attack from South Korea. Not really spread out wide. Got the one man behind the scrum there, looking to outhook Malaysia, but we'll have a reset of the scrum. But interesting setup there, Romario. Generally would have all three players on one side, but even though the scrum is closer towards the 15-meter mark, they've got a man on the short side. Interesting to see what's cooking for the South Koreans.
Well, I think the player from right behind the scrum, the side he goes, the ball will come. There goes their little number 9. Set things up now inside, still inside their own half, South Korea. Through the hands they go, putting on some footwork. Still not making too many meters ahead, but now the try scorer for South Korea places the ball. The referee thought there was a knock-on, but thought better off. South Korea hot on attack now. Here goes the big man in the number 18 jumper, but the ball has been popped forward and then kicked out of play by the Malaysian.
Red on the 10.
Players on their haunches, as we have about 2 minutes or so left on the clock in this first game of the men's segment in Group A.
Thought that was a very good defense from Malaysia. Imosi Labati was really pumping his legs there. Crooked throw there from South Korea. So Malaysia have the option and they take the scrum. This is biting time off the clock, and that's exactly what Malaysia need right now. 1.5 minutes remaining on our clock. Substitutions coming in.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's now all about the game management for Malaysia.
Substitution blue.
Send the substitutes in. Make sure the fresh legs are on the park.
Hookers, here's your mark.
Plenty of substitutes coming on for both sides.
South Korea will look to put pressure at scrum time, but the ball comes away quickly for Malaysia. Here's a little wraparound move for the Malaysians. Opens up a little bit of space and they grubber it forward. The ball might just bounce kindly here for Malaysia. And he was taken out there. That should be a penalty or maybe even a penalty try, but it'll be interesting to see what the call is going to be from the assistant referee.
Straight away comes to the TMO, does the referee. Now decision time.
TMO check.
The first TMO call for the day. Referee Ayman alongside Suranga Arunashant. Having a look at the screen. The kick was good. The number 7 somehow managed to reach his kick, but here you go. There you go. He was taken out blatantly by the two men, and if that did not happen, it would have been a try all day for Iqbal in the number 7 jumper.
14.
Now it's decision time for the referee.
14.
Penalty try. Will it be a penalty try? Will it be a yellow card? Or will it be both? Here you go. He was no doubt reaching that ball first was Iqbal, but then he was taken out. Now it will be interesting to see who the referee gives the yellow card to, Abid.
No matter the yellow card, the penalty try has been awarded there.
14.
Jin Yong Lee and In Tak Huang were the two
14.
men that brought that player down,
Number
Iqbal.
14.
And try scored. That means it's a 7-pointer. And it's going to be a yellow card for In Tak Hung, who is going to go to the bin for the last 1 minute of this game. And Malaysia have got a full 7-pointer, and it's 19-7 here.
Okay, when you're ready.
Indeed. There you go. The yellow card was coming, and it did come in the end rather. And now Malaysia with a handsome lead, sitting pretty with about 45 seconds left on the clock. 6 men of South Korea. They will no doubt have a task at hand.
Imosi Lasati, or Imosi Labati rather, has been called to the bench. And South Korea will play the remainder of this game with just the 6 men. Here's Junwook Kim trying to spark something on that corner there. Have a look at the Malaysian defense. They're not committing too much. Once again, some space for Ping Yong Moon, who goes up to the 10-meter line. That's a penalty for not releasing the man there and falling down, not supporting his body weight was the call.
South Korea take the quick tap with nothing really on for them, Abid.
12 points to bridge in no time is not something that South Korea could do, and that too with just 6 men. Junwook Kim, they've looked a bit lethargic with ball in hand, South Korea. That's because the Malaysian defense has been right in their face. You really have to give their flowers to them. But here we go. Turnover ball once again. The number 8 for Malaysia. Zul Hisham gets the offload in, but now South Korea running away with it. In that number 3 jumper is Jin Mo Lim. He's going to be chased down there. Good defense. What a defensive effort from Harith Iqbal. And forces the penalty as well. What an effort in defense. First tracked the man down. And now taps it, kicks it out and wins the game for Malaysia.
Game, set and match for Malaysia. Quite a surprise in this first game, but Malaysia get the better of South Korea. 19 points to 7 as the next two teams run on to the field for their fixture.
Malaysia 19 and South Korea 7. Your full-time confirmation. That was the first men's segment game here in Colombo, the second leg of the Asia Rugby Sevens tournament. Here are the highlights of that game. Malaysia will be quite proud of their performance in attack, but I think you really have to take your hat off to them in defense as well.
Indeed, they did hang on when South Korea put them under the pump in that first half. And then on in the second half, it was all Malaysia. Penalty try and a yellow card too at the end of it. As we see the two teams, Hong Kong, China, set to take on Philippines. The Philippines skipper, I remember, 8 years ago he was playing with Philippines here in Sri Lanka. In the number 10 jumper, kicks things off, not 10.
Short arm penalty for
the kick not going 10 meters. So straight away Philippines will have an opportunity to apply a bit of pressure on Hong Kong. But we all know what a potent team this Hong Kong outfit can be. Philippines, they finished last, but here you go. In the number 5 jumper, goes straight through the heart of defense, does the Philippines player, and he goes under the post, rounding it off, dotting it down, and an early advantage for Philippines, 5 points to nil.
What a start to this game for the Philippines. They couldn't have asked for a better start. 5 points up already against the champions of the first leg, but it's a game of sevens rugby. But nonetheless, they've got the score early on. Conversion is successful, so 7 points to nil early on. What a try for the Philippines, really catching the Hong Kong defense on that occasion, the loops going around for them. But I thought the running lines from Philippines was what opened that gap for them to go through. Filipinos will be very happy with that one. 7 points to nil now. Important restart coming up. It looks to go deep and find a bit of grass there. Chasers are up as well. Have a look at the pressure coming in there from Philippines. Fantastic work in defense. Here's Hong Kong, China trying to run out of their own half. Thought there was a slight hand there from the Filipino. Yes, that's the call. Hands in the ruck there.
Hawk-eyed referee somehow managed to spot that. Jivak Fonseca on the near touch line, assisted by Ravin on the far touch line. Hong Kong, China.
First set piece of the game here. Here's Hong Kong, China through Harry Sayers. Still on the move, Harry Sayers shows the hand and just runs over the Filipino defense there. Offloads coming in from Hong Kong, China. Now this is the team that we know. Here's space for Max Denmark. Now gives it out to Callum McCullough, who steps in. Good defense from the Philippines.
Well, he was lucky. I thought so, he was. The looks of it, he went off his feet before he had rights, but having said that, the referee thought otherwise. But great passage of defensive play, and we did see how potent Hong Kong, China are in attack. Paul, their coach, the manager. We all know how good this Hong Kong, China team can be, and here you go. In the number 2 jumper, just loses the ball forward in as he was going into contact. Was the number 2 for Hong Kong, China. Now it will be a scrum in favor of Philippines. Now they need to get out of jail here.
Well stolen there from Alessandro Nardoni. Good defense once again from the Filipinos. Here's a scrum for the Philippines. Roland Henry takes it up to the 22-meter line. Opting for the kick there, Christian Ledesma, and finds a little bit of space there at the back. And he's got a man chasing up as well. Have a look at that pace and have a look at the defense there. Fantastic work from Jonel. But now Hong Kong, China are running away with it. Good territorial play there from Philippines, but now it's with Hong Kong, China. Offload sticking now. And space on the out, and it's going to be a sprint to the line for Hong Kong, China. After all of that from the Philippines, Julian Barron will go over to score a try for Hong Kong, China, but you really have to take your hat off to the Philippines for that ambitious territorial kick. But the class of Hong Kong, China getting them a score here, 5 points to 7.
Indeed, the class of Hong Kong, China prevails as they score their first try of this Asia Rugby Emirates 7 series, the Sri Lanka leg of it. The second conversion successful, 7 points to the good. As we have a look at the replay there, after a long passage of play inside their own half, Hong Kong somehow managed to spring the ball wide through their quick hands, and then all got away. Restart collected by Philippines.
Here's Jonel, loses his footing there, off the boot from Philippines, and it's play on. So here's Philippines running away with it. He needs support. The Hong Kong China defense comes in on time. Have a look at that spot tackle there. But somehow they recycle once again. Here's the Philippines. Breaking, releases, gets up once again. It's Ethan Tyler there. Needs someone around him and releases the ball pretty well. And it's advantage coming the way of the Philippines. There was a slight knock on from Hong Kong China. Now numbers. Good spot tackle, good defense once again. Shooting up there. Fong Kit Fang there for Hong Kong China. Outrageous offload there from the Philippines, but still they hold on to possession of the ball. There was a slight obstruction, but it didn't really obstruct play, but holding on is the call from the referee.
Quite unfortunate there are the Philippine volcanoes. They did really hard, but now they will be taking a quick tap and ending this first half. Or are they? Put the ball into touch to Hong Kong China with one last opportunity as the time has run out on the clock.
There is a good snap off the ball there from Clifford Joe, but the pace of Hong Kong China prevailing there on that occasion stopped that passage of attack from the Philippines. But look at the pace injection there coming in from Harry Sayers, senior man in this Hong Kong China Sevens outfit. Now here's their captain, Max Denmark, still has possession of the ball and now gives it out to Callum McCullough, who will step past that tackle. Easy does it for McCullough, and he'll go under to score for Hong Kong China, and that's exactly why they didn't tap it and kick it out.
Indeed, that's exactly why. It goes to show how good they really are these Hong Kong China players. They backed their decision, and once the man in the corner got that ball, there was no stopping him with his long levers. No chance of wrapping their arms around for the tackler. 14 points to 7. Hong Kong China lead Philippines at the halftime.
Oh. 14 points to 7. Hong Kong China lead the Philippines with that last minute try. An interesting half, but an even more interesting second half coming your way. 14 points to 7. Hong Kong, China with the lead going into lemons. But it was the Philippines that started off the scoring. It was a breakaway try there from the Filipino in the number 5 jersey. Dayton Kautai with the score. But then it was Hong Kong, China who got the score right after that and replied in kind through Julian Barron with that score. The Filipinos tried to try and pierce the Hong Kong China defense, but the defense was too class. Top-notch work from Hong Kong China. Scoring a try there. Callum McCullough with the score to get the lead back for Hong Kong China. Next fixture coming your way is an interesting one. The UAE, the Emiratis will take on Chinese Taipei. Hong Kong China make a mess of the kickoff, and once again right off the bat the Filipinos score. That's a score that will blow the doors wide open for the Filipinos to come right back through. Hamish Henry with the score, and it's 12 points to 14. A try right off the restart for the Philippines. Not even 30 seconds on the clock. They did that in the first half, but they need to keep the intensity going towards the rest of the half. Important conversion from Ledesma, and misses the conversion, so no 2 points, so it will remain 14 points to 12. But what a start for the Philippines.
Indeed, they strike back straight away from that restart there. Catches their opponent's napping as player in the number 4 jumper sets it off, and Ledesma goes through the heart. So that's where Hong Kong China were trying to catch their opponent's napping, but well, Philippines got the better out of them.
Yes, Hong Kong China now. Injecting some pace there is Brian Phillip. Brought down on the 40-meter line. Here's Hong Kong China now. James Christie takes it into contact and gets an offload into the try scorer's hand. Callum McCullough. Here's the captain now. Max Denmark gets another offload in. Julian Barron. Well, it's getting a bit repetitive, isn't it? The Filipinos score right off the bat in the start of the half, and Julian Barron in that number 10 jersey bridges the gap once again.
Hong Kong China, the champion outfit they are, they strike back straight away and pull things back. So it's a 2-point ball game, as we beg your pardon. It's a 21-12 as that offload off the ground was which set everything up.
Stop.
Not really sure if Hong Kong China expected this performance from the Philippines. It's a top-seeded team versus the 12th-seeded team, which is the lowest-seeded team, and if the Philippines do put on a performance like this, we're in for an absolute thriller here in Colombo at the Racecourse grounds.
Here on.
Restart recollected by Hong Kong China. Now through the hands it goes. Here are their hard hitters. Coming off the bench were a few. In the number 3 jumper, that's Johnny, beg your pardon, number 5 jumper Harry Sayers gets the offload away, and the scoring is Brian Phillips. He goes under the post, and by the looks of it, that would be the ball game.
Well, they just were in search of possession, weren't they? As soon as they got the ball, they just seemed to know what to do with it. Offload sticking. Just such a well-oiled machine, Hong Kong China. That score coming through Brian Phillip. Conversion is successful, 28 points to 12. Here's a replay of that try once again. A break coming in from Harry Sayers. But then the offloads, it's just a treat to watch, isn't it?
It indeed is a treat to watch, and also the support play from Hong Kong, China. Well, it's on a different level.
Yeah, okay.
That clearly is now preparing to kick things off. Is the try scorer Phillips. Puts a high restart. Sayers tries to go up but isn't successful. Retaining possession are the Philippines. Through the hands they go. Flung out of the back door, but the referee, he gives a yellow card rather for the number 3 Johnny of Hong Kong, China. Well, in fact, that's for a deliberate knock on. Philippines now with a number. Puts the chip kick in is the number 7. In the number 7 jumper is Moses, but cleaning things up for Hong Kong, China is Liam. Now Liam putting on his magic, gives the scissor to Jamie. He gets the offload away in the number 11 jumper. That's Sebastian, gives it off to Liam. Liam starts off the play and he comes back to finish things off. And with that, finish Philippines off with about 2 minutes to go on the clock. 33 points to 12. Hong Kong, China running away with it.
Well, they really are the full sevens package in this Asian circuit, aren't they? They've got counter-attack, they've got set piece, they've got physicality, unmatched physicality. Hong Kong, China. What a score that was. Conversion from Brian Phillips is just off the right upright, hits the post. But have a look at this replay. This replay is one for the ages. Step past the first there. Came in on the scissor and came in at pace there, James Christie. Just have a look at that. Broke past that defender. Took the defender on. And got the offload for Sebastian Breen to score that try on the right hand side touchline. What a try from Hong Kong, China. Restart is a contestable one from Hong Kong, China, but they knocked the ball forward. But you really have to take your hat off to the Philippines, don't you? They've put on a show in the last couple of minutes, fatigue setting in. But good effort from the Philippines. 33-12. Wouldn't be happy that they couldn't get the win, but they'd be happy that they've at least started both halves pretty well.
Indeed, they have started on a positive note, you could say, but just not good enough to keep up with this Hong Kong China outfit. As the champions from the first leg are running away with this game. Philippines trying to have the last say in this game. But cleaning things up for Hong Kong China was James Christie. Secures a penalty for his team, does James Christie. Now, will they just tap it and put it into touch? Before that, there is a player on the floor for Philippines. So the referee blows for time to be switched off. As a bit of attention seems to be required by the player who is on the floor. However, he limps back up on his feet.
Well, what an opportunity, isn't it, Romario, for the Papare, Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, to bring you this live telecast. The Asia Rugby Emirates 7 series coming to Sri Lankan shows after 8 long years. It's been a long lapse, but we've opened our arms to the rugby playing community of Asia to come and play some sevens rugby, and to be able to bring you these live pictures from Hong Kong, China to the Philippines, from Malaysia to Singapore, and from Japan to China. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you these pictures as Hong Kong, China take this game, the second game of the Group A. Hong Kong, China have stamped their class here in Colombo at the racecourse with a comprehensive victory against the Philippines. Good game all around from them. Really opened the eyes of the other teams. Hong Kong, China 33 points against the 12 points of the Philippines. Have a look at the highlights of the second half. What a half that was. The start was immaculate from the Philippines. It couldn't have started any better. Just took them 20 seconds to go over for a very well-deserved try for their efforts in attack. But from there on, it was just the class of Hong Kong, China, being able to finish off the attacks that they've started. Offload sticking, and they just seem to be a very well-oiled unit. The next game coming your way is going to be an interesting one, but the key stats: Hong Kong, China 33 points against the 12 points of the Philippines, 5 tries against the 2. Interesting match coming up. We'll have a change in the voices in the commentary box. It's Reshwan and Denan to take you through this match.
Thank you, Abid. Games coming thick and fast here at the Asia Rugby Sevens, Emirates Rugby Sevens rather, as we have yet another game on our cards. It's UAE taking on Chinese Taipei here at the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025 played here in Colombo. It's the opening game of Pool B. As I welcome Darren to the Combox. A very good morning to you, Darren.
Yes, right before midday, Reshwan. So, interesting match up next. It'll be referee Buki who will be the match official.
It's Japan who, rather Chinese Taipei who kicked things off. UAE good position. It will be UAE with position, taken that tap quickly. Now brilliant offload pass, good collection as well from that big number 5. Returns back the favor to the number 2, and a brilliantly worked try for UAE as they get their first goal in the campaign and in the game.
It's brilliant continuity, Reshwan. Good offload game, good support lines, and points straight away for UAE.
Brilliant from UAE. Just doing what the doctor ordered. It was a brilliant run from the number 5. The offloads were just brilliant. And at the right place, at the right time was the UAE number 2 who goes over the whitewash. 5 points to 0 is Chinese Taipei will have their work cut out. A good high-hanging restart once again, but not the best of passes from Chinese Taipei, even though that collection was good.
So UAE straight away riding on that momentum they gained. Good restart as well.
UAE will be a man short in the next couple of minutes, Denan. I think that was not the best of calls coming in from the UAE player. Good touch finder, which we normally don't see. Chinese Taipei opting for that, as you see that yellow card infringement, putting that hand out, and an easy decision for the referee.
Is indeed Taipei just Chinese Taipei just opting a bit of breathing room there. Straight away moved on to the yellow zone. So we'll look forward to build as they trail 7 points. Good grab in that instance. Just moving the ball straight across field. Now good step back inside. Very well tackle. Some good step yet again, trying to keep the ball alive. Good offloads coming in, very well intercepted in that instance by UAE. Yet again, good offload back. They seem to be managing to keep the continuity alive, Reshwan. And 4 players coming in to bring down that big number 1 and taken quickly yet again. Still riding on an advantage. So UAE, they're in their front foot here. Taken quickly yet again. Now the number 7 stepping back inside, goes straight underneath the post. So UAE wasting no time whatsoever.
Indeed, they are here to play, and well and surely putting Chinese Taipei under a lot of pressure in these opening exchanges. It's 12 points to nil, and mind you, playing with just the 6 men on the park as well. Make that 14 points with a successful conversion. It's UAE who are bossing against this Chinese Taipei outfit.
Let's have a look at that replay. Stepping back inside. Easy does it for him. Seemed to be a big miss match here with physicality and skill at the moment. But Chinese Taipei still not out of the game. They have an entire half, a little bit over 2 minutes left. So it's important that they find a good collection and capitalize on the position they already have. We say that yet again a wayward pass intercepted, but regathered by Chinese Taipei. So looking to burn the man on the outside, keeps the ball alive, but left behind for no one to regather. So will be UAE with position again. Yet again, good power run there by their number 1, setting it up for their players. The captain moves it to midfield, swings it straight across to the number 7, the try scorer. Cutting back inside yet again, trying to keep the ball alive.
Did brilliant from UAE, really keeping hold of position. Chinese Taipei really haven't had any opportunity to try and run at this Philippines Chinese Taipei defense. And now once again a fumble from UAE will give Chinese Taipei an opportunity to try and run at this UAE defense.
So UAE very determined to keep the play alive. Some fancy offloads going in. In that instance, just couldn't gather the ball. So they seem to be not opting to form many breakdowns in the game. Want to keep the ball alive and keep maneuvering their defense. Now Chinese Taipei feeding for the scrum. It's playing quite flat. So again, to cut back inside, offload's not going to the hands as well as the does for the UAE players. Yet again, hospital passed almost, but nevertheless, the holding on penalty. So UAE some prime position right before half time.
Did now once again to be UAE will look to try and go over once again. They have really bossed position and done really well in this opening half with around
so they've capitalized on their opportunities really well and managed that first half quite easily. I'd say Chinese Taipei needs to pick up on their defense. As we said, that the captain now getting past their defense, trying to burn it on the outside now, steps back inside, still on his feet, throws and wayward offload, still but nevertheless gathered by Chinese Taipei now. UAE scrambling in defense, stepping in, hand goes out, so it will be most probably another card. Yes, so second time deliberate knock on there.
They did not what UAE would have wanted. They've really played out well in this first half.
Yes, other than the 2 yellow cards, I think they've played quite well, managed the game quite brilliantly so far. Now Taipei yet again with some good position this time around, breaking through the first line of defense. Very well tracked back and caught. Good work at rock time yet again by the number 6. Good work rate shown right before half time, and their big number 1 just fends off the defense. Looking to go all the way, and he will go straight underneath the post. So another try right before half time. It's 19 points before the conversion. So UAE seems to be running away with it.
Indeed, running away with it can be understatement as well. Chinese Taipei just haven't been able to get anything right in that first half. But they have a whole half left to try and draw a comeback. That's the UAE skipper in the sin bin for the couple of minutes. That deliberate knock on. But it's a convincing first half performance from UAE, as they will go into the break with a good lead of 21 points to nil, as UAE will want to continue in their merry way in the second half coming up. Once again, live from pictures Resco Stadium out here, as we see the first half from this game between UAE and Chinese Taipei. It's been tough going for Chinese Taipei. It was UAE from the word go who dominated proceedings. They went over on 3 occasions, 3 converted tries in that first half for UAE. And it will be just a matter of another 7 minutes to close this game off for the boys from the Middle East. Next game coming up, it's Japan taking on Thailand in the next game in this Pool B fixture. Japan did finish second up in China, and they'll be taking on Thailand, who did finish 11th in that first leg. Some UAE faithful out there, the women's team as well, watching quite closely the action out here in Colombo. And if you're in and around the vicinity, head your way to the Resco Stadium, as Sri Lanka hosting the Asia Emirates Rugby Sevens 2025 after a lapse of 8 years. And bringing you all the live action is Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, the Papare, the broadcasting partners for this year's Asia Rugby Emirates Sevens Series 2025. It's a high-hanging kick from UAE. Not the best of collections from Chinese Taipei, as early on in the second half they have a setback.
Straight away, not what Chinese Taipei would have hoped for. Moving on to the second half as well. UAE yet again in a prime position straight away, just outside the 5 meter.
Indeed, now once again UAE will look to threat this defensive line of Chinese Taipei. Good feed in. Good distribution play from that halfback as well. Good defense coming in from Chinese Taipei. But it might not be enough, as the number 12 from UAE will go over for yet another try in the game. The 4th one, as UAE well and surely running right against Chinese Taipei. 26 points to nil with the conversion to follow.
So Finley Anderson in that instance going over. So it seems like UAE will be the comprehensive winners so far. Chinese Taipei still in the back foot, yet to find their way in this tournament as well, as the conversion is not successful in that instance. So it will remain 26 points to nil. As you can see, Finley Anderson sniping through there, going over.
Brilliantly done by UAE. Probably be back to their initial number as his captain returns for them. As he's into action straight away. Good kick, good collection as well from Chinese Taipei. As now Chinese Taipei really trying to find some answers. Hasn't been easy going for them throughout this encounter against UAE. For them it will get tougher. And in the process they have lost position as well.
Just Taipei again losing position ever so easily. Seem to be quite mismatched there by the physical advantage against them.
Decent crowd in this
Cross.
morning here at the Racecourse Stadium. Surely the atmosphere will pick up as the game goes on, as the day goes on rather.
Ari drive.
Not the best of
Ari drive.
scrums coming in from Chinese Taipei, as now UAE will look to pounce on it and add more to the score. The number 7 who did go over in that first.
It's Muhammad Ali in that instance going over. Quite the nippy player he is.
The conversion good as well from the skipper. It's 33 points to 0, and the UAE has really done well with the conversions as well. In the 5 tries they have scored, they have just failed on one occasion. As we'll take a look at Muhammad Ali's second try, as he'll be done for this game. He's been taken in, so UAE will look to just shuffle the pack around and bring on some fresh legs to see this game off in the next 2.5 minutes or so.
But again turned over by UAE, so a lot of work to do for Chinese Taipei in that instance. Good dummy there by the captain for the UAE. Good work at rock time, but it again seems to be pouncing on it, and he'll be burning it on the outside. So consolation try coming in for Chinese Taipei. It's the number 11 Yunwu who will go over for a try now. Finally finding their way in the game is Chinese Taipei, but is it too late, Rishwan?
Indeed, just probably a tad bit too late for Chinese Taipei, but still could take these positives for the games coming up later on for them. 33 points to 7 as a well work try. They really pounced on that mistake by UAE.
There's some brilliant individual performance there by Yunwu, who has done quite brilliantly there.
Indeed, brilliant work for Chinese Taipei. Probably will be a consolation score for them. And the restart not travelling the 10 meters, as UAE will take it quickly once again. Skipper in the thick of action. Fresh legs now. And a high tackle infringement going against Chinese Taipei, as UAE will now look to just settle things around and go in for a scrum. Probably the right decision as well, Denon. Just around a minute left on the clock. They look to see this game off.
Yes, indeed, they've already secured the game as well. So we'll be looking to save some extra bit of energy for the upcoming matches as well. So we have just over 30 seconds left here on our clock. And will be the final feed in, I suppose, for UAE. So yet again another penalty against Chinese Taipei. So they'll have a lot to reflect upon from this game. As UAE now just maneuvering the ball across the field to their captain. Good wraparound move there, trying to step past, just lost his footing in that instance. Now Chinese Taipei pouncing on that loose ball. Yet again turned over. So flurry of mistakes going in. So it's an advantage for Chinese Taipei. So it's a penalty taken quickly. Moves the ball. The number 8 finding some space and trying to burn the number 11 of UAE, as he does it ever so easily. So Anting Chen goes over for a try now. Final try of the game, I believe. And they've just bounced back in the second half, but a little bit too late for Chinese Taipei.
Indeed, but still finishing this game off on a high, Chinese Taipei. It was a tough outing for them against a much favoured UAE outfit. But nevertheless, Chinese Taipei could take plenty of positives going into the next 2 games they have today. As the full-time whistle goes off here, it's UAE who clinch victory against Chinese Taipei, 33 points to 14. It was a convincing win, but well and surely Chinese Taipei in that final exchanges tried their best to come back into it. 33 points to 14 reads the full-time score confirmation in favour of UAE.
Here are the highlights of that second half. Muhammad Ali going over. I think UAE managed this game quite brilliantly. Few loose balls here and there, but overall a good performance by them. Some consolation tries coming in for Chinese Taipei, showing up the potential they have in their ranks. As you can see, just that they couldn't hold on to the position. They got a few mistakes early on and they just couldn't bounce back. And have a look at the key stats from that game. UAE 5 tries to Chinese Taipei's 2, 4 conversions, so a good conversion rate as well for UAE. And
indeed, it was a game where Chinese Taipei would have taken a lot of learnings, as they will have tougher opponents coming up. But next up we have yet another clash in the Pool B. It's Japan taking on Thailand. And that will well and surely be a very interesting matchup. Japan did finish second up in China, and Thailand did not have the best of the campaigns, as Q Shengangang will be the official who will oversee things in this game between Japan and Thailand. It was Thailand with a high-hanging kick to kick things off.
very well received nevertheless by Japan, as they big hit straight down there in midfield. Running some decoy lines as well, trying to snipe his way through. Desperate defense coming in straight away by Thailand. And here we go. In 2 plays to bring down that strong lad from Japan. Straight away coming up in defense. So Japan seems to be wasting no time whatsoever. Early to pounce on the outnumbers. Good pass straight away.
Release! Release!
Japan hitting right area straight away, finding the gaps in the defense as well. Seems to be a matter of time as they will go over, and it's the number 9 for Japan who will open the scoring. Will draw first blood in this game. So Japan setting their game up quite well in that instance. A few breakdowns here and there, and eventually a very well scored team try, I'd say, Rishwan.
Indeed, it was coming for sure. Japan, the much favoured team coming into this encounter, and well and surely have made justice to the tagline as well. So Japan who have drawn first blood, with the conversion to follow, with an opportunity to add another couple of points. Makes no mistake, That's the 2 points. It's 7 points to nil. As Thailand will have their work cut out against a much favoured Japan outfit. Brilliantly worked try. Going back into the drawing books, coaching staff will be quite proud of it.
Again, a good high-hanging restart in that instance by Japan. Very well contested, but nevertheless gathered in that instance by Thailand. As now they will have possession for the first time in this game. Straight away, big hit at midfield, drawing in some defense now. Overlap there in the corner. Still up into play it in midfield. Good pressure coming in the ruck as well. Trying to snap his way through. Isolated now. Japan pouncing on it. So say that it's a holding on penalty against Thailand. Still no time whatsoever. Japan takes it quickly. Trying to beat the defense. And some desperate defense coming in now in the far corner. Good. Thailand up in defense. Wayward pass goes to no man. And that seems to have knocked it on in that instance by the Japan player. Thailand seem to be coming up in their defense quite quickly, giving no room whatsoever for Japan players to maneuver the field.
That will be how Thailand will have to go with their things against this Japan outfit. Then it will be quite tough for them, but still well and surely in it, as we are halfway through to this first half. Japan well and surely have been tested. I think kudos to this Thailand defense, who have really stood up strong, and they're really quick to pounce on any opportunity. This Thailand outfit.
Yeah, all the players seem to be quite enthusiastic and very proactive and involved in their defense. Straight away coming up in as soon as the Japan players giving them no room whatsoever to work with. I think that's their strategy in this game. Japan the more favored and it's likely to pounce on every opportunity they get. As we say that, again, good defense, some good pressure coming in by the ruck. Almost lost position in that instant, the number 6 for Thailand. Penalty against Japan. It seems to be a bit too high for the referee's liking. So Thailand with some momentum here. It's 2.5 minutes left here on the clock. They'll be opting for a scrum down just outside that 10 meter.
Thailand would love to go into this break possibly with a score win. Try and level term things. That will be the goal at the end of this first half for the boys in yellow. As now Thailand with the feed in. Ops go from the short side. Puts in that kick. Looks like that will be out. And that will be a line out in favor of Japan to follow. Not probably not the best of decision making coming in from Thailand. Didn't
had the right idea to capitalize on the open spaces in the back, but just couldn't execute it as well as they'd hoped to. But nevertheless, Japan now the line out. Good throw, good receive, and straight away going to the center field, finding the gap there in that instance is the number 10 for Japan, who will go straight through for the try. And straight away, as we say that, Japan gets the position of the ball, the tiniest of rooms, and they've capitalized with the maximum. So with the conversion to come, it's 12 points to nothing. It's Toma Shiwachi who is the try scorer. Will be hoping to convert it as well. Just proves how potent and threatening Japan is. Slightest opportunity, the smallest gap in the defense,
They will pounce on it, and the conversion is successful as well. So, a little over 30 seconds left here on the clock. So take a look at the replay there. Very well received line out. Spotting the gap and good presence of mind to give that quick short pass. And easy does it for the number 10 of Japan. Restart again. Contested. Won by Japan. So good stuff straight away. Not settling for nothing less than what's best for them. As we say that right before halftime, they seem to be reaching for one more try just to put the game at rest, and they will get that desired score, Ishwan. So 19 points to nil. The number 12 going over.
Did a brilliant work from Japan. This was expected. Koga getting his first try in the leg and in the game as well. Japan, a 3-try first half for them, as they will really go into that break with a lot of ease coming up in that second half. Conversion yet to be made. This time around successful. 21 points to nil as Japan, they go into the break with 3 converted tries. And as you see the halftime score confirmation, Japan 21, Thailand yet to get off the mark. Back live here at the Race Course Stadium. And if you're just tuned in, it's the game between Japan and Thailand, where Japan have absolutely ran right in that first half with 3 converted tries, which makes Thailand's life a lot more difficult coming up in that second half.
Japan were very good at pouncing on every little opportunity they got, Rishwan, in that first half. Thailand did manage to showcase some good defensive efforts, but Japan's attack just a bit overpowering in that instance. So important second half coming in for Thailand. Vital that they get a score in if they want to keep this game alive for themselves.
Next game coming up, it's the hosts Sri Lanka taking on Uzbekistan in the opening game of the men's Pool C fixture, as the host will want to put on a show in front of the home crowd here at the Race Course Stadium. Sri Lanka, led by the Candy speedster Kavinda Pereira, finished 4th up in China. They'll well and surely want to do much better here at home. A lot will be expected, but before that it will be the second half, the game between Japan and Thailand. It's Japan who kicks things off for this second half.
Is Japan a bit too over-eager in that instance? So good opportunity for Thailand now. Be taking a quick tap. We switch directions to good fend off and good hands yet again, keeping the ball alive. Thailand thought they were settled, but yet again wayward pass. As we say that, Japan yet again pouncing on that loose ball.
referee has blown the whistle, so he'll call back play. Tad bit forward for the referee's liking. So Thailand living on some thin ice.
Indeed, Japan really will look to continue their dominance here against this Thailand outfit. Hasn't been quite easy out there. It's hot and humid. We have had plenty of showers throughout the week. The weather will play a big part in this day one. Once again, we look at that incident. Good feed in from Thailand. Gets that ball out quickly out to that speedster. We look to try and get past this Japanese defense, but a thumping tackle as Japan have done well to turn over proceedings. Once again, Thailand, just like that first half, then and they have doing the plenty of defensive work.
Now Japan can overlap in the corner. Stepping back inside is the number 7. Cuts through 3 defenders. Now goes over with the number 1. So Japan, as I mentioned earlier, the slightest opportunity they get, they pounce on it, and they will go over straight under the post for their 4th try. The conversion to come. So it's Takia who will go over for that try. Very well-oiled Japan outfit, just making easy work so far of Thailand. Have just been the best versions of themselves in terms of attack. Even though the scoreline reached 26 points, I think they have done quite well to keep this Japan team in bay. Just Japan a bit too good in that instance. Straight away.
Indeed, they did come with that tagline of the runners up in China in the first leg of the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025. So well and surely they look to impress here as well. And they have started off in good fashion. 28 points to nil now, and they look to add more to it and make that third 3 points with the conversion to follow in quick time.
It's good contest in the restart. Regathering position as soon as they can. Ugira will go over for the try. Japan making easy work of Thailand. It's just that they seem to be managing this game quite well. Showing a lot of skill. It's their position in the tournament as well. Conversion unsuccessful, but nevertheless 33 points and the game to their name.
Indeed, it's the first conversion that did not go through for Japan. Once again, just dominating proceedings from the word go, and not the best of collections from the restart, but nevertheless was secured by Thailand, and that too will probably be a very important call coming in from the referee. He straight away goes to the pockets. He had no hesitation, as Japan will be reduced to just the 6 men on the park for the next couple of minutes.
Take a look at that incident. They're jumping for the ball, so big touch and go, but nevertheless that restart Reshwan, it's almost like Thailand didn't contest for the receiving ball, so a good effort coming in there by the Japan player. Now Thailand with the numbers advantage. Little under 3 minutes left on the clock. They'll be hoping to get some points on the board.
Once again, good feed in from Thailand, but just not able to get hold of that offload pass. A chance that would have really given Thailand an opportunity to try and get us going, but that's not been the case.
Just trying to use that extra man advantage in the corner, trying to get the loop in with that numbers advantage, but nevertheless just couldn't hold on to position. Japan again with opportunity, switching things over straight away in midfield. Now with an opportunity, cutting back inside is the big number 2 for Japan, and almost finding a gap. The number 3 easy does it for him. Brilliant stuff. They enjoyed it in the bench as well. So Japan making very easy work in this second half, as definitely identified the defense, the gaps in the defense of Thailand, pouncing on it ever so easily. 38 points with the conversion to come as well.
Indeed, 38 unanswered points as well. This time around, make it 40 points for Japan. Well and surely in prime position. They would like to add more points into it, as they will be back to their initial number of 7 players as well. So Thailand will be kicking themselves down and not being able to get any advantage from being a man up. But it's always tough against an opponent like Japan, who are surely one of the favourites out here in the second leg of the Asia Rugby Emirates 7 Series 2025. And as we speak, it's yet another try for Japan, and well and surely running away with it in quick time are the Japanese.
Shows exactly why they are in the top 2 of the tournament as well. Straight away from the restart, gathering the ball, pouncing on the loose. Using every single movement to their advantage, and so it's 47 points nil, and that'll be full time. So a very comprehensive and dominating performance by Japan, capitalizing on opportunities they got, making no mistakes in defense as well. Keeps the opponents to 0 as it's a full-time confirmation. Japan 47 points to nil against Thailand.
Indeed, a convincing win for the Japanese here. 47 unanswered points, and they have started off this campaign in quite fashion as well. As we take a look at the second half performance from Japan, they did really dominate from the word go, and have surely will be one of the front runners to finish on the top here in Colombo as well. Thailand will have their work cut out in the next couple of games they have today. They will have to take plenty of learnings from their next 2 games. Japan entered that game with a try as well to conclude a convincing win for them. Weather just holding up well here in Colombo, as the host running out to the middle, as we'll have a change in the voice.
Yes, good afternoon everyone, as we're just about to see host Sri Lanka taking on Uzbekistan. Sri Lanka coming out for the first time in this tournament. Did reasonably well in that first leg to enter the semi-finals. They'll be looking for a repeat of that at the very least. The good news from Sri Lanka's point of view is the man who is going to take the kickoff, veteran Srinath Surya Bandara, back in the squad. Joining me in commentary is Sudarshan Apiris as Surya Bandara kicks off. Lovely hanging kick. Knock back well into Surya's hands. Pops it off to Ekanaika. That's Chatura Soiza. Sri Lanka, good start here. Keeping the ball alive. Jansen, another new addition to this Sevens outfit as bit of a delayed pass by the skipper, resulting in the position being turned over. Now it's Uzbekistan recycling the ball, making that initial break. Nice offload. Sri Lanka scrambling for defense, but penalized for a high tackle. Uzbekistan take the quick tap. On the move is their number one. Will he be able to go over? Yes, it's Uzbekistan who draw first blood. Sri Lanka paying the price for not holding on to possession. And Uzbekistan quick to pounce on it. And they'll take an early 5-0 lead.
Yes, brilliant play by Uzbekistan, taking control of the ball when they could, and also using their bigger physical traits to try and break through the defenses of the closer quarters. Abdullah, Sri Lanka did have something very positive going, but couldn't get the finishing touches, as that's a beautiful conversion. 7 points. And straight away Uzbekistan in front.
Yes, well, it just shows how important possession is going to be in this game. Sri Lanka will want to try and avoid contact as much as possible. Keep the ball alive, but just that one missed pass, paying the price. Kickoff started once again. Sri Lanka with possession. Janindo Dilshan making a half break. Brilliant bit of work by Kazakhstan. Turning position over once again. Or rather Uzbekistan, pardon me. As Sri Lanka have managed to turn position. Again, just not being able to get the ball out was Sri Lanka's skipper, but Sri Lanka have done well to retain position. They've got to make it count now as the Jensen gets it out to Surya Bandara, offloads well. So far, Uzbekistan's defense has stood strong, and that counter-arc resulting in a knock-on. So this early few exchanges to Sudarshana. Sri Lanka, though having position, just haven't been clinical enough to get over that first line of defense, and Uzbekistan have made them pay.
The timing of that counter pressure was sublime, putting pressure on Surya Bandara, who was trying to retreat and distribute the ball. Now Sri Lanka will have to put on a good defensive effort here, try and disrupt this as Uzbekistan to their dangerous number 12. Cut out pass, not to hand but on the bounce. Dinali Kanaika managing to tackle the man on the outside for Uzbekistan, looking to create a little chip and a chase. Nobody chasing, but that's going to be a penalty.
It looks like referee has educated that's going to be a 22 dropout.
Stay on side. Stay on side, please. Thank you. Behind.
Surya Bandara.
Let's go, guys.
Just not quite sure of playing Kavindu Pereira in that center position, isn't it, Sudarshana? Has been really in that wing position most of his career. Now an opportunity for him to make amends. Breaks that first tackle, does well to hold on to possession. Sri Lanka recycle the ball, but they need someone to create something in that middle. It's Akash Madhushankar. Again, Sri Lanka slow to the breakdown, and brilliant work by Uzbekistan's number one, pouncing on that breakdown and winning the penalty.
Sri Lanka have been bogged down to their 20 to 30 meters in their own half for far too long. Abdullah, and Uzbekistan is doing absolutely well to make sure that they keep piling pressure. They've gotten the 7-point lead, and they will be looking to try and double this in very close succession 2 minutes to go in this game, in the first half. As the crowds fill up, it's a fabulous, isn't it? After almost more than half a decade, we have Asia Rugby Sevens coming in. Of course, there was the pandemic break, which resulted in not many rugby being there as we speak. Sri Lanka managing to win that line out. Madhushankar spreading the ball in the corner is the skipper. Has Ekanaik on the outside. Ekanaik cutting back inside, dancing away from tackles. He can surprise you with his speed, but Uzbekistan is privy to that. Brilliant defensive effort from them. Madhushankar. Now Sohisa makes it available. Dilshan. Jansen. Sri Lanka not being able to break the defense. I'm wondering why nobody has decided to put the ball behind Uzbekistan, because they do have the speed and the runners to try and chase that. Now Madhushankar
Back pass by Green, play on.
opts for the boot, but not successfully. Position won again by Sohisa. Kavindu, Dilshan, Ekanaika, Jansen going from end to end without being able to break the defense. Surya Bandar. Kavindu changes direction. They're almost at a standstill. Sri Lanka happy to slow it down, but good rough defense bringing out the error.
Yes, and I just don't quite comprehend what Sri Lanka is trying to do here. Just by slowing the pace down, they're just playing right into Uzbekistan's hands. See the officials there, newly elected president of Sri Lanka Rugby, Pavitra Fernando. Just don't think tactically Sri Lanka have been smart enough in this first half, isn't it, Sudarshan? Just very static in the way they have gone about it. And also there seems to be surprising a lack of penetration in midfield, isn't it? They just haven't been able to get through that first line of defense. Spectators slowly making their way here to the race course. Expect a crowd to build up as the evening comes on. So just probably the final play of this first half. Sri Lanka surprisingly find themselves down 7 points to 0, but you have to give a lot of credit to Uzbekistan. They've definitely shown a lot of patience. Feed into the scrum. Recycled once again, Uzbekistan. Just looking at their options. Lovely wraparound move. Fortunately, that the ball not going into position. Ekanaika does brilliantly well. Sri Lanka need to finish strong here in this first half. An opportunity to do so. Spreading the ball wide. Akash. Fortunately, just running across, and it's that man, Srinath Surya Bandara. Eventually, on the stroke of half-time, the veteran put Sri Lanka on the board, much to the relief of all spectators here at the race course, well, the Sri Lankan ones at least. Surya Bandara himself tried to add the extra points, which he has no trouble in doing so. So after a pretty lackluster first 6.5 minutes, Sri Lanka going to half-time 7 points all.
Sri Lanka will be very relieved, and half confirmation 7 all.
So we're back here at the race course. It's 7 points all. Let's just take a look at the first half highlights. It's Uzbekistan who drew first blood. And they looked very threatening from then on, but then just on the stroke of half-time, Srinath Surya Bandara pulling things back for the horse to go in at half-time at 7-all. So this is the next fixture coming up. China versus Singapore. The other two teams in this Group C along with Sri Lanka. Probably have to say China, who emerged in third place in that tournament they hosted about a month ago, will go in as favourites. But before that, we definitely have a game on here. The Uzbeks have definitely put in a really good shift in that first half. It'll be interesting to see whether they'll be able to kick on from there. Uzbekistan's number 10 to kick off. Lovely high hanging kick, brilliantly taken by Chatra Soiza. It's Uzbekistan who have managed to win position over on the short side. Janidu Dilshan read it really well, but Sri Lanka have done well to turn position over. Got to get the ball out wide. They have numbers. That's a really poor distribution. Fortunately, no harm done. Gayan Pereira does well to keep position alive. This is much better by Sri Lanka. They just need to get a bit of penetration in midfield. Dange, the newcomer to this outfit. Jansen creating a one-on-one situation for Janidu Dilshan. Wonderful bit of footwork, and he will go over for Sri Lanka's second try. And Sudarshan, I think that's what Sri Lanka need to do much more. Just create those one-on-one situations. They do have the advantage of some very skillful runners, but they've got to give those runners a bit of space.
Sri Lanka now really coming into groove. Seems like they had that first game jitters of a tournament within that first 7 minutes. Abdullah. Second half, they earned the right to go wide. Earlier, what they were trying to do was just swing from side to side and hope there would be opening coming. But now they've shaken it up. Some of them, despite being young, brilliant work by Janidu Dilshan in that corner. Lovely bit of step and has the speed to finish it as well. Goes all the way and puts Sri Lanka in front.
Yes, I think what we've just seen is Sri Lanka need to try and keep the ball alive, isn't it? They don't want to go into too many breakdown situations because Kazakhstan very strong in that facet of the game. And that's a poor kickoff. Not quite sure what Sri Lanka actually needed. Maybe Gayan could have let that ball bounce to see if it went over the 10-meter mark. Nonetheless, it's the Uzbeks who will have an opportunity to draw level.
Backwards!
Chatra Soiza. Good defensive work. Penalised for offside. It was a knock on. The Uzbek player was not behind the player who knocked the ball on. So Sri Lanka have taken this quick tap. Jansen getting out to Dange. And that's Gayan Pereira. Just a little bit of injection of pace Sri Lanka needed in midfield. And Gayan Pereira has definitely brought that, has been outstanding for Sri Lanka. Not just in that first leg, but even in that under-27s tournament. Real good addition to this sevens outfit as conversion is successful.
Yeah, great prospect for Sri Lanka, isn't it, Gayan Pereira? Young, has speed and has a very good head on his shoulders as well. Realize he just doesn't need that no argue to connect because he had the pace to go through. Gets Sri Lanka's third. The Lions happy. 21 points to 7. Now Sri Lanka slowly but surely running away with it.
is good by Sri Lanka. Good pressure being applied. Kazakhs under a bit of pressure, but they've managed to find a bit of width, keeping the Sri Lankan defense flat-footed. Jansen just not being able to make that tackle first time. The Uzbeks, they have numbers out wide. Someone's got to straighten the line and get it out. But Sri Lanka have done well to scrap back in defense. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Lovely bit of footwork by the Uzbek number 9. And Uzbekistan have struck back.
Mohammad Kalandrov, that time, the try scorer. Good bit of footwork by them, creating that opportunity, and just like that, 14 points to 21, one score away, Uzbekistan. So Sri Lanka can't relax. They need to finish strong this second half if they want to win. Great game on our hands because Uzbekistan managed to upset and unsettle Sri Lanka with that opening score, Abdullah. And first half it was just as 2 tries scored, 1 from each. So they will want to make sure that they finish off strong. For the lack of the pace that they have, Uzbekistan, they do have a couple of very nippy players who can create trouble by stepping, but Sri Lanka says not today. As Chatur Soisa is taking a little stroll to the try line. Error soon after you score. Teams are very vulnerable the moment they score, and yet again Uzbekistan, lack of concentration, and Chatur Soisa takes a stroll.
Yes, you just sense that the Uzbeks thought that since the ball may not go over the 10-meter line, it will just drop short of Soisa, but it wasn't the case. Conversion not successful, but nonetheless Sri Lanka had 26 points to 14. As we have a look at that once again, just a bit of lack of alignment, and a brilliant collection by Chatura Soisa. Looked up, saw that no one was in front of him, and strolled over for Sri Lanka's 4th try. Now this is an area where Sri Lanka really need to try and brush up going forward. Another poor kickoff.
You got to really nail that, isn't it? A very important facet of the game when it comes to sevens, your kickoffs. That's where the better teams really capitalize.
So the Uzbeks with possession. Referee has his hands out for a penalty. High tackle is the call, so we'll come back for the penalty. The Uzbeks take the tap quickly. They realize that they don't have much time. Position recycled, but the clock is running down. Sri Lanka's defense standing tall thus far. And position has been turned over. Sri Lanka do well to hold on to position. And Jansen says that's enough. So that's the end of the first game. After a rather slow start, Sri Lanka eventually coming out as victors. 26 points to 14. It was 7-all at halftime, so not the best of performances, but Sri Lanka will be pretty pleased by the fact that they have managed to notch up a win. Always the first game of the tournament can be a pretty difficult one, and it proved to be so for the Sri Lankans. But they'll be pretty pleased with the way the game ended. And just awaiting the commencement of the next game. It will be the teams that Sri Lanka will face in their remaining 2 games. That's China and Singapore. just waiting for those two teams to get on the field as we have a look at the highlights of the game. Sri Lanka did start off slowly, but put in a good shift in that second half. So that's how it ended. The key stats: 4 tries to 2, 26 points to 14. And you have to say, Sudarshana, Sri Lanka will take that after that, how the way the first half ended.
Yeah, definitely. I think Uzbekistan will be the more disappointed side because they did show promise in the first half, and had Sri Lanka bothered, had they managed to score